Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2018 USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships Smyrna. We are in Smyrna, Tennessee at the Smyrna Bowling Center for the Intercollegiate Team Championships Sectionals. Men's and women's divisions for you. We have the women on lanes 25 and 26 for you. And on lanes 27 and 28, we have the men. If you want to follow along at home after each game, we will have scores updated for you on bowl.com/sectionals. The top 4 teams from each division will make it into the Intercollegiate Team Championships in Lincoln, Nebraska, to be held next month in April at Sun Valley Lanes. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com. Streaming today on Inside Bowling on YouTube in collaboration with the United States Bowling Congress and BowlTV. Joining me today is Matt Gassett from Ebonite International, 3 years removed from collegiate competition, and I'm happy to have you with me, Matt.
It's good to be here. I'm excited to call the action.
So on this morning's webcast, we're going to have for you 16 games, but if you notice the graphic in the bottom right corner, we will have 64 total Baker team games for you over the course of the next 2 days. And this is what it's all about. College bowling, you bowl the entire season to make it to sectionals. And 4 teams will make it from the men and the women. And you've been in this position before, Matt. You know what it's like to come into an event like this. Obviously, you were with a program that, you know, was a favorite to make it in, and it wasn't quite as difficult with the talent that was surrounded by you. But what are these teams thinking going into competition today with 64 games in front of them?
I mean, it's pretty simple. You got 64 games to make it, or your season's over. You know, and it's kind of tough to look at it that way. But for everyone other than 4 teams on each side, their season's going to be over after this weekend.
And it is all Baker, and those of you that may be watching and aren't familiar with what the Baker system is, the leadoff bowler will bowl the first and the 6th frames. The second bowler will bowl the 2nd and the 7th frame. 3rd and 8th will bowl. 4th bowler will bowl 4 and 9, and the 5th bowler, in which we call the anchor bowler, will bowl the 5th frame and the entire 10th frame. However, they are carrying up to 8 on a roster, I believe. And in the event of getting some other folks in to see what their ball reaction looks like, you will see teams substitute in the 10th frame, typically on the last shot, to see what other players might have as far as a lookout on the lanes in case they want to substitute someone.
Yep. And that also keeps the people who are on the bench loose as well, so that they're not sitting without throwing shots for several hours at a time.
That's a very good point. There are no practice lanes here, so you may be called into competition at any given time, and each student athlete needs to be ready to take to the lanes. Who do we have starting out here for us? Looks like we have, on the ladies' side, we have Maryland
Martin Methodist.
Martin Methodist, thank you.
Union College, and then on the men's side we have Lawrence Technical Institute, I believe, or Lawrence Tech, and University of Louisville. And Martin Methodist off to a hot start over there. After that single pin miss in the first frame, they've managed to recollect themselves and throw the next 4 strikes.
And the format here today, Matt, each team will bowl 2 games on their lane, and then they'll flip to the other lane?
Yes. So there's going to be 4 sets of 4 Baker games in the morning, and then 4 in the afternoon. There's going to be 2 bowled on each lane, and they'll alternate lanes after those 2 games for each set.
If you love college bowling, this is the day for you. Because not only are we streaming here in Smyrna, but we have friends sprinkled all throughout the country today. in Stratford, New Jersey at 30 strikes. We have 25% of the live streaming team there, and that's Mr. Aaron Smith is there broadcasting to you, and he's been on for over an hour as he's on East Coast time. And you can go find that live stream link at either youtube.com BowlTV or over at bowl.com/sectionals. And in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just starting at the same time that we did, Emil Williams Jr. is at St. Clair Bowl. He is 25% of the live stream available to you today. And of course, also on BowlTV, our good friend from BowlStream TV, and you should follow his networks as well, Craig Elliott is at USA Bowl in Dallas. So we have 4 live streams for you today on BowlTV and Inside Bowling. A collaboration between both channels here on YouTube. And we want to thank the United States Bowling Congress for that opportunity to be able to be involved in this event. Gary Brown, downtown Gary Brown, is here in Smyrna with us. I want to thank the USBC for all they do for collegiate bowling. Quite an operation.
So, Mike, did you know that there's typically a pretty interesting strategy that coaches use to put together their lineup in Baker?
What is the strategy, Matthew?
Well, typically, the first bowler is you're going to want them to be your most consistent bowler, the person who is typically your best shot maker, that you know is going to go from when you're constantly switching lanes and switching pairs in Baker, and someone that you know is going to go up and make a good shot that the rest of the team can get a read off of and see what the lane's doing. Your second and third bowler, realistically, it's unrealistic that the entire team's going to have great ball reaction. So you're going to have the people with the iffy ball reaction, usually in the 2 and 3 hole, and then the people with the better ball reaction you're going to have in the 4 and 5 hole. Usually the 5 hole is your best bowler, someone who's going to strike out in the 10th frame. Someone in the 4 hole is going to set them up for the 10th frame. And then that consistent bowler, when they bowl their second shot in the 6th frame, hopefully because the 4 and the 5 bowler struck, you'll be able to put together a turkey there in the middle of the game. So there's a couple of different strategies you can use as a coach to put together a Baker lineup. But that's the one that we typically used throughout my college career.
And typically the anchor bowler, I would assume in an event like this, most of the time is going to be the person that's carried you through most of the season.
Yeah.
Unless their ball reaction here is just extremely squirrely, then you might move them down to about the 4 hole or potentially lead off.
Yeah, I mean, like it's someone. Those 3 spots are, in my opinion, the most important in Baker, and obviously 5 hole being the most important because they have to strike out. But that 1 hole is also really important because they're the ones gathering that information on those new lanes to get for the other players on the team.
We do have an interactive chat that's taking place while we're bringing you this broadcast this morning. We'd like to welcome everybody in today to the Smyrna Sectionals. Game 1 is 64. We'll have 16 for you this morning, 16 this afternoon. We'll come back tomorrow with another 32 for you. Want to welcome in Jimmy, Cranker, Dave, and Paul already in the chat. And it's good to see you guys here watching some college bowling this morning. It's always nice to get up and running and having everything working properly. Want to thank the Smyrna Bowling Center for having a nice internet connection here so that we can bring you the action. Matt, did you get a good night's sleep last night?
I did, yeah. We went out to dinner last night. We went to Japanese hibachi, and that was pretty good. And then I went back to the house and just passed right out.
Yeah, I took a power nap and then couldn't go back to sleep, but then got another 4 or 5 hours in there. So I feel really good today. yesterday was a long day of singles competition. Hope you enjoyed that if you joined us. If not, it's available on the archives. You can go check that out.
We were lucky enough to catch a lot of the good action on the live stream pair yesterday.
We did, and we even were able to do some bonus coverage of some front nines.
Yep.
Weren't able to get it done with a 300. They had one in Dallas yesterday. But maybe we'll have a Baker 300 for you today, and we'll be able to have some cool highlights throughout the day.
All right, and as we're kind of finishing up game one here of the first set, let's kind of go through the lineups for each of the teams. We have Martin Methodist on lane 25. Their leadoff bowler is Kayla Berry, followed by Katie McLean, Carrie Ledigo, Heather Gold, and Callie Baggett. On lane 26, we have Union College. Their leadoff bowler is Jamison Tarrant, followed by Julia Edenfield, Megan Elliott, Kendall Lane, and Brianna Elkin. On lane 27, Lawrence Tech. Their leadoff bowler is Marcus Zinn, followed by Jordan Bryant, Chase Kaufman, Chad Stephen, and Kyle McGrath. And on lane 28, leadoff bowler James Jordan, followed by James Bratcher, Brad Riggs, Kyle Abel, and Kiefer Hillerick.
Matt, I sure am glad we have these cameras positioned because I just stood up to watch bowling and I can't see anything.
Yeah, that's typically the way it goes in these collegiate events. If you turn around, you'll see there's just about every spectator has some type of step stool or step ladder, and the ones who don't have a little homemade periscope that they can kind of see up over everyone with. And going into game two, the coach from Louisville has just informed us that they are going to be making a small lineup change, moving Kyle Abel from the 4-hole down to the 5-hole where Kiefer Hillerick was. They're just going to be swapping positions there for game two.
And the ladies are already in game two, right?
Yes, they are. Martin Methodist started off with 180, and Union started off with a 144. Louisville on the men's side had 154. And Lawrence Tech looks like they are going to finish up with about 152, 153. 152.
We will keep our bottom right graphic up to date as best as we possibly can here as we head into game number two. The guys out on the truck changing the graphics for us. It's going to have a busy day with 64 graphics to build over the next 2 days. We want to thank everybody out working on the InsideBowling.com truck outside in the parking lot. John Anderson in the chat says, awesome work, guys. You're putting in a lot of hours for these live streams. Thank you. John, anything for you? Remember, the one thing that you guys can do for us is you can do three things, actually. You can Subscribe to Inside Bowling on YouTube, which is greatly appreciated if you would subscribe to our channel. We would certainly appreciate that very much. You'll also get notifications when we go live. I got mine this morning.
Yep, mine too.
Number 2, if you're normally an Inside Bowling fan and you happen to catch some college bowling today and you're enjoying this, boy, you're going to want to go over to BowlTV and subscribe to that channel too. They have over 60,000 subscribers over there as opposed to our approaching 11,000 here on Inside Bowling. And if you're not subscribed to BowlTV, make sure you go and you do that.
Yep, and I got my notification this morning at 7:25 a.m. that our friend Aaron went live in Stratford.
Yes. And then in addition, Craig Elliott, who is streaming this weekend also down in Dallas on BowlTV, he also runs a service called BowlStream.tv. And you should go follow his live streams as well. I believe he does it on the live stream platform, but the best thing to do is to go out to social media and look for BowlStream TV, Craig Elliott, and you'll be able to find the information how to follow all of his streams and what he's doing. He does a great job of promoting bowling as well through his BowlStream TV service, and he also works with the PBA as well. So that's how you can really help us out, everybody. And then in addition to that, if you would like to help us out, we have a lot of things we want to do here at Inside Bowling, and a lot of people have been asking how they can help source and crowdfund what we're doing, and we decided to take the merch avenue. So we do have merch available on our website, and you can save 15% on InsideBowling.com. We've got a bunch of T-shirts and stuff, something for everybody, I believe, and we're adding new designs every week. And you can save 15% with coupon code YouTube. YouTube will save you 15%.
All right, looks like the girls are a little bit ahead of the guys here. And after a couple of rough games, it looks like they've managed to pull themselves together a little bit. We got Martin Methodist over on lane 25 with about 220, 230 pace. They can actually strike out for 244. Union College had a pretty good game going there. Unfortunately, they had a 4 on a double, which they ended up converting, and then an open frame in the 7th. So if they convert this single pin spare here, they can strike out for 209.
Martin Methodist came into this event ranked 21st in the country on the women's side. Union came into this event ranked 48th in the country. Lawrence Tech over here on the men's side came in 25th ranked in the country. And Louisville came in ranked 57th in the country.
But you know what the beautiful thing about those rankings are?
They mean nothing.
They mean nothing today. You bowl 64 games this weekend, and if you're in the top 4, you make it to nationals. And Martin Methodist with a really stellar game that second game, 244. 180, 244 start for Martin Methodist.
Now, do you think we'll see the second game bowled on each lane higher than the first for the most part?
You would think for the most part. It might be pretty split, but you would think that they get after them, getting 10 frames to take a look at the pair and kind of see what that lane's doing, that they would make the right moves and get themselves lined up. I would expect some of the higher ranked teams, the better teams, to really be able to take advantage of that. both ladies teams with a much better game this second game. Union can strike here and finish this game out with 185.
Yeah, that 4 spare in the 6th is the most interesting frame for Union because they lost good count, but at the same time made the spare, which is not easy to do.
Not at all, especially after you just threw a shot where you got 4. Usually you might be a little bit jittery and maybe not too sure what your ball's going to do, but yeah, to convert that, that's impressive.
Once again, we're bringing you 16 games this morning. We'll have 16 more for you this afternoon.
Lawrence Tech off to a pretty good start this game. They have an early triple followed by a couple of spares. They can convert this and strike out for 244.
Started today at just after 8:30. And we'll be back today with games 17 through 32 here from Smyrna at about 1:45 this afternoon.
All right, so as the ladies enter game 3, they will be changing lanes. This is kind of one of those important things, you know, you gotta really stay focused on what you and your team are doing on your lane, but you also have to kind of watch and see what the other team is doing on that other lane and where they're playing, what kind of balls they're using, how they're breaking down. And it'll give you a little better idea of what you need to do, what kind of moves you need to make as you switch lanes there.
Hello to Tom Hess in the chat.
Mr. Hess.
I am going to run down to our supply closet and pick up some batteries for our wireless mic. I noticed that it was dead, so when we went radio silent here a minute ago when we lowered our volume, so I'm going to go get some batteries for that. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. All right, and the men are a little bit behind the ladies here, but they're finishing up their second game as well. Louisville looking to cover a spare here in the 10th to get them into the 170s. Lawrence Tech has a pretty good game going there. And cover up this single pin conversion here and get them into the 2 teens. And an open frame in the 10th for Louisville gets them 165. So Louisville starts off 154, 165. And Lawrence Tech, open frame in the 10th as well, 201 for them. And this is no easy pattern that they're bowling on either. The USBC has not released any of the pattern information for the sectionals or the intercollegiate singles this weekend. But historically, they're usually between that 37 to 39 foot range and fairly flat. And it's pretty much the most difficult length pattern that you can use because there's enough friction to where you can move in and try and hook the ball, but there's also enough friction to where you want to keep your break point a little further right, maybe even start a little further right. And so what that does is it causes some teams to kind of play all over the lane, and it can cause the lane to break down in an interesting way. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the scoring pace here throughout the day. But early indication says that they're pretty difficult. The scores are a little bit low.
Oh yeah, we got our ambient back now, baby. We got our mic back. And this mic back too. I'm back too.
Yep, both mics.
Yep.
2-for-1 special.
That's right. It is kind of a 2-for-1 special, isn't it? We got lineup changes happening around us.
Yep, Lawrence Tech making an adjustment going into this third game as they switch lanes.
And yes, that's right, folks. You do see that correctly. Game 3 of 64. 64 games.
All right, so Lawrence Tech, Marcus Zinn still leading off. Cody Johnston has gone in. Cody will be the 2-hole following Marcus, followed by Jordan Bryant, Chad Steffen, and then Chase Kaufman will be the caboose there in the anchor position. Carl, where is Lawrence Tech from? They are from Michigan, a little bit north of Detroit. So, Mike, in your brief absence, I touched on the lane pattern a little bit. It is a different pattern today than it was yesterday for the intercollegiate singles qualifying. It was a little bit easier to see what was going on the lanes yesterday. There weren't as many bodies up by the approach, so I could kind of see ball reaction a little bit better. I haven't been able to watch too many balls go down the lane today, but typically they do play a little bit shorter, a little bit flatter in the team event, and I do expect scores overall to be a little bit lower today. The key in any Baker competition is spare shooting. If you can fill frames and somewhere throughout the game put together a double and get to 200, you're going to be, especially on something this hard, you're going to be right where you want to be at the end of the tournament.
We have a question, is Union College bowling today?
They are. They are on our live stream right now. Union College women on lane 25, the furthest left lane on your screen. And if you're just tuning in, their first two games were 144 and 184.
I love the excitement of college bowling.
It is, yeah. I mean, I actually find college bowling much more nerve-wracking than singles bowling. I would much rather throw a shot in singles bowling for $20,000 than have to throw a strike to win a really important Baker match in college bowling where there's no money involved. And I felt it before. There's no worse feeling than feeling like you let your teammates down in some way. All right, the ladies finishing up their third game here, and kind of what we touched on a little bit earlier with the lane change. The lanes are obviously going to be playing a little bit different, and the first two games on the women's side are a little bit lower. So Union College, strike first ball on the 10th with a strike. They can finish this game up with 144. They're already in the 130s. Nice double in the 10th there for Union. Save a couple of extra pins.
If you are just joining us, this is the Intercollegiate Team Championships Baker format. We're in Smyrna, Tennessee. For sectionals. There's 4 sectionals throughout the country, all happening simultaneously. All 4 are live streamed for the very first time ever on BowlTV and here at Inside Bowling, working in collaboration with the United States Bowling Congress. I am Mike Flanagan, joined by Matt Gasson. And now the teams are starting to settle in after getting to bowl on one lane, now switching over to the other lane, and everyone seems a little more comfortable now. At first everybody was amped up, trying to get a feel for what's going on. 64 games in front of you. Well, now they're warmed up. Everybody's had a chance to throw some balls down the lane. Some substitutions have already happened.
Yep. We'll see what happens here. Both the ladies team off to a bit of a struggle as they switch lanes. Union College with, I believe, 143 that last game, and Martin Methodist with 144 this game after a 244 the game before. So you can see how differently the lanes must have been playing for them. And on the men's side, as they finish up their third game here, both teams made a couple of changes, put together a couple of strikes there early, trying to ride out the rest of the game now. Lawrence Tech can strike out here in the 10th and bowl 194, which is a pretty solid score from what I'm seeing across the board. And Lawrence Tech can pick a spare up here and strike out for 222, which would be a very solid score. Yeah, Mike, I'm looking all the way down both the men's and the women's side, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of 200 games being bowled. It tells me that they are they're not easy. There's a lot of talent in the field, and if they were strikeable, then they would definitely be striking.
Yeah, I just went up and talked to Gary Brown and said, hey, don't forget, we do the wireless camera. If you do see a team with the front 8, front 7, you know, put us on alert, let us know so we can grab that camera.
Yep.
But based off of what you just said there, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm looking around too, and I don't see very high scores whatsoever.
Yep, and it's early, and just like any pattern, they will break down. They will become a little bit more scoreable. I do not believe they re-oil.
They do not.
So these last 16 games of Baker this afternoon are going to get a little bit dry, and we'll see some higher scores. We'll see possibly some lofting. So it could get exciting. But right now, all these teams are trying to do is keep the ball in play and let the pattern break down and make their spares. Lawrence Tech with an open in the 10th, finished with 160. I'm sorry, the University of Louisville with an open in the 10th, finished with 160.
Yeah, that's right, because they didn't change the names up
the
there.
names aren't automatically transferring from one lane to the other, so we got to pay attention to that. But Lawrence Tech actually with a really good game going. They got themselves in the 2 teens with that first strike in the 10th, or low twos. Another strike here gets them into the possible 220s. And perfect. Good game there by Lawrence Tech. So after a bit of a struggle in that first game with 152, Lawrence Tech has followed that up with 201 and a very high 210 or a low 220.
We shouldn't have a graphics problem anymore with the names up there. I just went and made a comment about that, so I think we'll be getting that fixed. It is nice, Matt. These are the only pairs where they are putting in their names, and that's
Gotcha.
for us. And when we go into game 4 here, which will be just in another shot or so, I've got a treat for everybody at home that's watching. A real treat.
I'm excited. I don't even know what this treat is.
Oh, it's a nice treat. Game 4 already underway for the ladies as they are going at a quicker pace. They were going at a quicker pace yesterday as well.
All right, Louisville with the lineup change. They've struggled a little bit so far this morning, 154, 165, 160. They're going to go with Garrett Thibodeau leading off in that 1 hole, followed by Kyle Abell, Brad Riggs, James Jordan, and the anchor bowler Kiefer Hillerick. Let's see if they can put together a pretty big game here and save this set.
I like that name, Kiefer.
Kiefer.
Like Sutherland.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just like the guy from 24. That was a good show back in the day. They tried to bring it back, and I don't know if it was as successful or not, but that was a good show.
All right, heading into game number 4. Here comes the treat for everybody at home. I've increased the scoreboards as much as I possibly can. Here you go. Look at that. What a change. What a change. A little more readable up there for you. And it looks like they have the names changed up in the computer systems for us now.
They do, yep. right, and the ladies are kind of coming down the stretch here in this fourth and final game for the first set. Union College can strike out for 212, possible 212 on the board for them. And 10 pin there will lower that to 191.
Matt, I don't know if you have that in your stack of paperwork or not, but we do have a question of which teams are going to be coming through throughout the day. Is that easy for you to figure out?
Yeah, it is. I can take a look here. So for this morning block, on the women's side, we will have, let's see, Martin Methodist and Union we have now, followed by Robert Morris, Illinois, and University of Alabama, Birmingham. The third set, we will have North Carolina A&T and Lindsey Wilson. And in the fourth and final set this morning on the women's side, we'll have Cumberland and Bethel. On the men's side, currently we have Lawrence Tech and the University of Louisville. Game 2, we will have Martin Methodist men and Rio Grande. Third set, we will have Ball State and Pikeville. The fourth set, we will have a blind team, Vacant, and Michigan State.
Well, maybe they'll let us go out and bowl.
I think they should. I would love the pace right now. I'd love to, and that would give me a better idea of what they're bowling on. And
we'll see if we can make that happen.
I have my stuff in the car.
Now that, I'll tell you what, I'll just let you pace. I'll commentate. Or maybe we could switch off every other game.
And you're two-handed bowling. We were talking about two-handed bowling yesterday and people who were converting to two-handed bowling. And you've done that, haven't you?
Well, I
kind of tried.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. I have a little bit of the rev rate two-handed, but I just cannot generate the ball speed needed for that rev rate. It is harder, much harder to do than it looks. And all the grief that the two-handed bowlers get for you know, basically being called cheaters. I mean, it is hard to do. So props to anyone who can do it and do it effectively. Union College finishing up that game with 181. And a 6:52 start for Union College for their first four-game set. Martin Methodist looking to finish up this game here with 189. If they can get the last four. If Lawrence Tech put together a couple of strikes here, they're going to have a really nice set on the fresh. It's going to just kind of looking around. I would assume they would have to put them towards the top if they can put a decent little game together here.
Scores have been up and down, looking around, but I do, for whatever reason, this game, looking around, I do see some more strikes in the pairs around us, a couple strings.
Yeah, I do. I'm seeing a turkey. I'm looking across. I see a turkey on just about every lane, but I'm also seeing some open frames. And unfortunately, those kind of kill those turkeys a little bit, kind of keep everyone around that 180, 190, maybe low 200 pace. And that's just, it really is the key to Baker. I mean, you can throw strings if you want, but you got to fill those frames. I always said, I don't care who we're bowling against, it doesn't matter what guy's team or women's team that you're bowling against. If you bowl 7 clean games, you're going to win 4 of them.
Looks like we have 26 men's teams here. Is that right?
Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I'm counting 18 or 20.
Are those blue pairs?
The blue pairs are out of play. It looks like every 2. Looks like 3 pairs here on the men's side, but looks like every 2 or 3 pairs on the women's side and the men's side are vacant lanes.
And we have 16 on the ladies' side, looks like to me.
All right. Martin Methodist ladies finishing up that game with 165. They did have a big game, game 2, 242, the highest game that we've seen so far. Saved that set for them a little bit.
Paul Wilson wants to know if we can change some of the scores and put in a few more strikes for Louisville. We can try.
We'll charge a fee of, what do you think is a reasonable fee for that? $5 a strike? I think that's fair.
A minimum.
Minimum.
Per player.
Yeah, why not? So Martin Methodist finishing up that first set there with 737. That 244 game 2 was a big help.
Eric Lonesberry here in the chat says, Matt, you must be a Boy Scout, always prepared.
You know what? That is one thing that I never did. I never did Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts or anything like that. I was never involved in that. What about you, Mike? Were you a Boy Scout?
I was for like 2 years. I was a Cub Scout and then a Wee Below.
What is a Wee Below? Is that like another version of Scout?
It was like the next
level. It's like getting your black, like a karate, like your next belt level.
Yeah, I think so. That's something not many people know. I am a black belt in karate.
Are you really?
So if you ever come up to the booth and give me any trouble, that's not a good idea. I took Miyagi-Do karate, which, by the way, there's a new Karate Kid coming out that looks pretty good. Pretty good. And yes, I do have a few bonsai trees at my house, and I can catch flies with chopsticks.
All right, as these men's teams finish up and these women's teams and men's teams start moving in, I'm going to get the lineups for these new teams. And
you were requesting strikes in the chat for Louisville, and they got them on their own, 2 of them, to be exact, in a row. Lawrence Tech here now with an opportunity to set up the 10th frame for their anchor bowler. Still bowl 221. Leaves a 4-pin.
Yeah, but 200 gives them 3 straight 200 games if they can strike out here. It's a really good momentum going into this second set. So they can put 3 together here in the 10th. I'd be pretty happy with that start.
Eric, again here in the chat, mentions an interesting comment here about the 4th bowler here for Louisiana Tech. Says that his shoulder hurts watching that high backswing.
Yeah, so he just gets it to the top really quick. And your ball and your feeder, they kind of have to match each other. And he's still a couple of steps away from the foul line there, so he's got to hold it to the top for a little extra time.
Our ladies are moving in, UAB and Robert Morris. Matt's doing a great job up here, folks. He's getting the lineups from all the coaches. I don't know what I'd do without having them here. I don't know how these other guys stream by themselves. It's a treat to have Matt here with me. We're glad you're enjoying college bowling here on Inside Bowling in collaboration with the United States Bowling Congress, BowlTV. Just finishing up our first set of 4 games here. We'll have 16 for you this morning, and we'll be back at approximately 1:45 this afternoon for another 16 games. Nice setup here. Gary Brown is doing an excellent job here.
What's his nickname? What do you call him?
Downtown.
Downtown.
Gary. Yeah, and that was given to me by Aaron Smith. And, of course, Brandon is here. I don't know Brandon's last name, but Brandon's actually running the show. Gary's just here
hanging out
with a name, you know. Honestly, I think they put Gary on this sectional just because we were streaming it in case anything got out of control. He could handle the situation. Gary Brown has been dedicated to college bowling for so many years. I had dinner with him the other night. And, late 9-pin there. Fall out. Let's see if my replay is working. Let's watch it again. Watch the 9-pin here. Not sure what hit that. But we got the replay in full effect here today. So that's going to do it for the first 4 games. Just so I remember, I'm going to bring in our game number 5 graphic. Got that swapped out for you. And it will take just a moment for the teams to come in. Looks like we're just getting underway here. Game number 5 for the ladies. I'm going to bring it into the booth for just a second. We didn't call each other yesterday on the track shirts, on the grays, but we are both wearing a form of red today.
This is more like a salmon.
It is.
It's like a fluorescent.
It is a salmon.
Yeah.
It is a salmon. Because if you look over my shoulder, I got red here, then we got red over here, red here, and yeah, that is a little more on the salmon side of things.
Yeah. I'm not going to call it pink. I'm not going to claim it as pink.
No, you don't want to do that. But hello, everybody. Hello, friends. It's going to be April soon.
It is.
For the Masters, and that's hello, friends. Anyway, we're doing well. Just wanted to check in, say hi to everybody, take you back out to the lanes.
All right, Lawrence Tech finished up that last game with 189. Gave them 764 series to start, which I don't think that's going to be too bad. I think that's going to put them in the, just looking around, it looks like maybe the top 4 or 5.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting lineups from some of the coaches.
Get the count, Ray.
On lane 25, we have the Robert Morris, Illinois Lady Eagles. Leadoff bowler Megan Makunovich, followed by Courtney Ermish, Michaela Guernsey, Morgan Starry, and Brittany Brown. Lane 26, we have University of Alabama, Birmingham. Leading off Sierra Lewis, followed by Rachel Strogan, Caitlin Cunningham, Samantha Johnson, and Taylor Russell. Martin Methodist men, leading off Brandon McGinnis, followed by Matt Butler, Camden Gutschall, Brady Adler, and Collier Pavey. On lane 28, Rio Grande, leading off with Zach Morris, Brandon Westerfield.
Zach Morris.
Zach Morris band.
Is AC Slater? AC Slater here? Kelly Kapowski?
Zach Morris, followed by Brandon Westerfield, Caleb Taylor, Austin Cook, and Chris Somerville.
Since you've been doing such a good job with the commentary, I've been over here able to play a little bit with our with the capabilities here. And notice down in the bottom left, we've got the in the booth Mike and Matt down there. Well, I have built a little special something.
Look at that. Everybody gets to stare at our pretty faces.
I'll leave this up for just a little bit. You get a chance to see a little behind the scenes of what we have going on here. Watching ball reaction here.
Yeah, it's always tough to see from this far away. Everything kind of.
Yeah, we have to look here. We have to look at our computer monitor to see. We're looking at the same thing you guys are looking at home.
There's just so many bodies, and that was a good one.
There was a break.
Replay that one.
Yeah, I do. I have that. Here we go. Here comes your replay.
Look at that. Crumble that to 6-9-10. That was interesting. That would have been an interesting leave, let alone having it fall.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this with having us up down here the whole time. You have to let us know what you think, everybody. Something a little different. I watch these gamers all the time, and the gamers have a green screen behind them, and you just see them cut out on there, you know, on the screen. I guess we could do that too.
We just need a green screen.
Yeah. Daniel LaRusso was the guy in Karate Kid. Will he be in the new Karate Kid? Yes, he is. Along with Johnny from the Cobra Kai.
The crane kick.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Cameron Doyle does that. Actually, it wasn't Cameron. It was Dick. It was his brother Dick.
I think does he prefer Dick? Is his real name Richard? He prefers Dick.
No, that when he came out of the womb, he was named Dick. Dick Doyle. That's his name. Unlike Dick Allen, who came out Richard Allen and changed his name today.
All right, through 7 frames, the RMU women are clean. Possible 225 striking out here in these last 5 shots.
That was a good shot.
Very nice shot there.
Now with Robert Morris being here, do you still spend time with the team?
Yeah, I actually was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. I stayed. We went up on a Friday, and I spent Saturday night downtown with the guys, and we hung out and went to dinner. It was a good time. So yeah, I mean, some of the younger kids I don't really know, but I am only 3 years removed. So any of the seniors this year on the men's side, I did get a chance to bowl with for a year. So I'm still pretty friendly with some of them.
Just looking at our graphic here, our names are actually flipped. Let's see, I'm Mike.
It's this way.
Yeah.
I am.
Yep, come on over here.
Over there, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like this. It's kind of cool.
A good shot there in the 9th and 10th too from Robert Morris.
Yep.
They're in the that puts them in the 2 teens. One more will get them into the 220s.
Do we know Robert Morris's anchor bowler?
Yes, Brittany Brown. And it sounded like a light 8-pin there for Robert Morris. So they're going to finish up here with a conversion with 214. Solid start, good clean start to this set.
Trying to go here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a better way to get there. I was trying to look up Brittany's stats here, and Matt helped me out. 49 games this year, averaging 192.49. Maddie Brandos through 43 games, averaging 195.
I believe Maddie also won the Hoosier. I can check on that.
She's got one, number one.
Yep, I believe she won the Hoosier right there. Yep, position. That's
yeah, number one. That's the hardest.
That's the hard one to win. And actually, if you look at the last couple of tournaments of the season there on her stats, it looked like she bowled pretty well. She finished in the top 10 of the individually the last 3 tournaments of the year.
6th, 7th, and 1st. I wonder why she's not bowling anchor.
Yeah, she's actually not even in the lineup right now. So her.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe some bad ball reaction, and
that seems bizarre.
But that just goes to show you. I mean, you can have someone that good on your team, and if you have a team with 7 or 8 ladies that are deep enough, and you can go into the bench to get some other bowlers and still put up some scores.
Yeah, I don't know though. That's baffling to me. You know. I don't know if I agree with it.
Well, you should go take it up with the coaches.
Well, hey, but I'm just saying, if I'm looking at this, and you got 64 games, I think I'm going to take my chances having her in the lineup over the long haul.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I believe that I've ever seen her bowl, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I actually, I'm not too familiar. I'm only familiar with one or two of the girls, so I'm not too familiar with any of them. But I did get a chance to watch her bowl yesterday. She was on the live stream for a brief minute, and she actually throws the ball pretty well. Yeah, so I'm a bit surprised to not see her in the lineup as well. So I would have to assume that either she just wasn't throwing it very well in practice this morning, or her ball reaction just didn't look very good, and the coaches decided to go with 5 other ladies. Which I kind of agree with that. I mean, you know, we should. I don't really believe in showing favoritism towards a bowler and putting them in just to put them in.
Okay.
You know, I'd put in the 5 ladies that'll give you the 5 men that'll give you the best chance to put together some big games. And sometimes, as a coach, that means you got to make the call to sit one of your better players.
And we don't know of any injuries or anything down there, do we?
No, I don't know of one. No, I mean, she bowled yesterday. Fine. UAB finished up that first game with 173. Martin Methodist men finishing up their first game of this set with 184.
And as soon as University of Rio Grande is complete, we will change our graphic over to game number 6, as the ladies are in game number 6 already.
Look at this periscope here. I want to ask her. I think I'm going to ask her if I can borrow that. I want to show everyone at home what people bring to these tournaments.
Yeah.
Yep.
I should do that.
It looks like she's using it right now. I'll borrow it in just a second.
Can we see that for a second?
We want to show everyone. So this is kind of what we're talking about. For the people who don't have step stools,
yes,
they have these little homemade periscopes almost. I mean, you can kind of look through here like that, and I mean, I can see.
Yeah. You can
see all the bowling action. I mean, it looks like I'm looking through that camera that you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's right back to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a mirror in there.
Yep.
Double mirrors, like reflects everything. Ooh, look at that trip 2-pin. Let's take a look at it again. Here you go. Watch the 2-pin's gonna fall late. And the 8.
You know, the one thing we haven't touched on all weekend, and we wouldn't have seen it yesterday because it was singles competitions, but the chants. There's chants for if you strike or you get strings in a row. I think it's more so the girls than the guys, but there's a lot of chanting and cheering that goes on. And they all have little songs that they make up, whether they be inside jokes or whatever.
Well, inside jokes, perfect for inside bowling.
Inside bowling, inside jokes. But yeah, you'll be hearing plenty of chants throughout the day. There's one I can't think of the team off the top of my head, the name of the team, but there's that they're like, you don't know what it takes to be a wildcat, and then they kind of clap. You know that one? Have you heard that one?
I haven't heard that one, but I've covered a lot of Sam Houston State, who's not here at this event, but they do the Deep in the Heart of Texas.
Yeah.
With clapping chant. You'll be able to hear that on an upcoming live stream we have in 2 weeks. We'll be at the Southland Bowling League. NCAA Women's Collegiate Bowling will be in Dallas in 2 weeks. You're not going to miss that one, folks. Actually, you won't. We have Arkansas State there. They're kind of the powerhouse of that conference. Sam Houston State.
Yeah, we got a chance to see some of the Arkansas State girls talent yesterday in the singles. We had a couple of the girls swing by our live stream pair, Jordan Richard, Haley Richard, and Taylor Davis, I believe her name was. And Jordan unfortunately missed making singles by 1 pin.
Really?
Yeah, she missed by 1 pin. Haley, her sister, had a really good game on live stream here with us. She bowled, I think, 242 or 243, and she ended up making it in. And then Taylor Davis, I believe she made it in as well. Yep, she finished second. Taylor, she bowled 266 with us on the live stream that last game.
Yeah, the ladies making it from yesterday were Kristen Qua. She led by 80 pins almost. Taylor Davis, Ashley Seville, Veronica Cepeda, Haley Richard, Ariana Campbell, not to be confused with Ariana Grande.
She bowled that big game the last game, and you wanted to call her Ariana Grande for that Grande game.
She bowled 240, and Jordan Richard bowled 181, and it's a difference of a pin, as Matt said. And Carly Evans just missing by 6. Missing by 9 was Anna, what do we got? Anna Olea. Yeah, from North Carolina A&T. And while I'm at it, might as well tell you what happened over on the men's side yesterday in the singles. Advancing, Brian Bourget, 1376 was his total for 6 games. David Eggert, Christopher Wiley, Hunter Kempton, Chase Benitez, Kenny Ryan, and Brandon McGinnis.
We actually have him on stream right now. He is the leadoff bowler for Martin Methodist. So you'll see him bowling frames 1 and 6.
Martin Methodist, by the way, 37th ranked coming into this event. Rio Grande, 78th. And over on the women's side, UAB comes in.
They're an NCAA. They're an NCAA team, so they might not be ranked in the intercollegiate rankings.
Yeah, you're right.
So some of the NCAA teams throughout the year. So it's actually an interesting thing. So the women, because of Title IX, some schools, the NCAA schools, are able to have NCAA programs. The intercollegiate is kind of an umbrella of all collegiate bowling. So the teams that are not NCAA, whether they be NAIA or I believe there's one other type, NJ something, but there's other conferences like at NCAA, and those teams bowl in the intercollegiate competitions all year.
Correct.
And then for the sectionals, the NCAA teams join in, and they're allowed to compete under that umbrella as well as a collegiate conference. Or
they get to double dip.
Yeah, kind of. So the girls who are NAIA teams are not allowed to bowl in the NCAA events, but you will see some NCAA teams bowling throughout the sections, the different sections.
Checking in on the chat, Scott Wetter says, hey, give a shout out to Alabama Birmingham, UAB. Coach Michelle Cruz and her husband Jimmy.
Yep.
They're expecting a baby girl in June.
Yep.
And talk about great people, too, by the way. Alabama Birmingham, they lost their program.
They did.
And then they're back.
Yep.
So kudos to them for persevering and never giving up on that program.
Yep. And Michelle Cruz, formerly Michelle Carcegente, a great bowler in her own right, former junior team member. Junior Team USA member, that is.
There's a lot of really good coaches being breathed into collegiate bowling. Shannon Bryan O'Keefe, probably the most notable, but you've also got, Kim Kearney here.
Kim Terrell.
Yeah, so
Kim Terrell Kearney.
And her husband Eric is here actually helping as well. And that program's going to be good. It's beginning stages, but.
And this is not her first go-around coaching NCAA or collegiate bowling. She coached Delaware State for quite a few years before becoming the coach at junior team and moving down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area at the International Training and Research Center. Robert Morris with 2 out of the last 3 opens there. They had a clean game going. So they finished that game with 175.
UAB with a nice clean game here. If this was no tap, it would be a 300.
It would.
You know,
And, those are the games that you want to see. If you're not striking, you want to be close to the pocket, leaving yourself makeable spares. That's the key to Baker. So she's going to go ahead and cover up that 3-pin nicely.
No, we're good. I think we're good. Thanks, man.
And that spare there in the 10th for University of Alabama, Birmingham gets them into the 2 teens.
Now, you think they'll bring in a sub here?
It's a tough call. It seems like there's not a whole lot of. If they do bring in a sub, it would be more so to keep someone loose just in case, rather than be looking at to make a lineup change. I wouldn't be making a lineup change after a game like that.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to bring somebody in.
Yeah, and that you'll see that quite a bit. And really, it's just to keep swings loose on the bench because you can get stiff, and there's going to be a potential crucial time that you can get brought in, and you're going to need to make the best shot you can make. And sometimes it's going to be hard if you're not loose. So. We got 2 pretty good games going on over here on the men's side.
Yeah, sure do.
Got a brief string just ended there for Martin Methodist. They had 4 in a row. They can clean this up and strike out for 237. University of Rio Grande looking to clean this up as well. Strike out for 240. 2 big games there on the men's side. As I'm kind of looking down.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Yeah, I see a couple of strings. The scores are starting to go up just a little bit as we head into this the 6th and 7th game here in Baker competition. The lanes are starting to break down. There's going to be some free hook a little bit developing to the right, and we're going to see the scores start to go up here a little bit, I think.
You know what's interesting to me here that we really haven't talked about, but if you look down there closely, Bob Learn is the coach here of Martin Methodist.
You just can't see him. He's down there.
There he is. There he is, just off to the right. You can see him kind of
the one with the least amount of hair.
Yeah.
Bob's a super great guy.
Something going on around here. Bob Learn yesterday actually finished last in the ladies.
He did.
Singles.
I still got to ask him. I want to ask him what's up with that before he leaves. Hopefully he'll kind of come out this way and we can grab him for a minute and ask. .226 for University of Rio Grande. It's going to be a good score. And again, 3 open frames there total for Martin Methodist. 2 out of the last 3, finishing with 191. It's a bit of a deflator there. Had a really good game going there through 7.
I'm a huge Bob Learn fan, and his wife Stacy as well. She's here supporting the college also.
Yeah, and they're not too far from here. They're from just outside of Columbia, Tennessee, I believe, which is about hour and a half away from here.
What's Louisville's score just off camera? They want to know. Looks like 193 in the 9th with a 4-pin now, so it could be 2-teen.
Yep, they with the cleanup here, they'll be somewhere 211, 210, 212, 213, somewhere around there.
Tammy Brown cheering on Robert Morris. As 3 Robert Morris guys made the singles.
I'm just making a connection. I think that might be a relative of Brittany's, the anchor for Robert Morris.
Okay. Tammy also says they're saving Maddie. No worry, she will be in the lineup.
Save those strikes.
I probably made a little more of a bigger of a deal out of that than I really should have, but I mean, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I see someone who finished first at the Hoosier and is finished in the top 10 the last 3 events, one of the, I don't know, hottest bowlers coming in, it's weird to me that in game 5,
she's not in the lineup.
she's not in the lineup. I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
To me. But I'm also not that close to it. That's just me from afar. It's like, you know.
So what you're saying is if the Robert Morris ladies bowling team was on FanDuel,
yes,
you would have definitely put Maddie Brandos in your lineup.
Yeah, and right now I'd be freaking out, yelling at the coach, saying,
Put her in.
Why? Yes, I need points. I mean, she would have cost a fortune.
Coming fresh off that Hoosier win, she would have been, what's that,
Exactly.
$10,000, $12,000?
Yeah, she's been very expensive. And she's riding the bench. Maybe she said, you know what, guys, girls, I'm good.
You guys got it.
Yeah, you guys got
it.
this. I'd rather hang out.
I've got confidence in you.
If you need me, I'll be chilling over here working on. Maybe she's got a bunch of schoolwork she needs to get done.
Maybe
she's down there
working from her phone or something.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's all making a lot more sense.
Student
now.
athlete. There's a reason it's called student before athlete.
That's true. So we've made the move, so we're in game 7 now, right?
Yes, we are in game 7. So you're going to see teams switching lanes.
All right, well, I think you guys have seen us enough. I'm gonna remove us from the screen for now. I'm not sure if I like that look or not.
I'm seeing a lot of single pin misses.
Yeah,
and it hurts my heart. It hurts it.
And there's another one.
Yep.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, if I'm Bob Learn, and he's like right off the approach because he's got to be in the front because of his size and stature. I wonder how many times he just wants to just grab a ball off the rack and go up and take care of business.
All right, we got standings after the first set. In the men's side, Robert Morris, Illinois is leading the way with 8:30 that first set, followed by Lincoln Memorial University, 8:08, Emmanuel College, 8:05, St. Francis, Illinois, 7:65, followed by Lawrence Tech, who we had on our live stream pair, 7:64. I did say they were going to be the top 4 or 5. Just a good guess.
Yeah, you did.
Women's side, we have St. Francis, 8:27. There's actually a tie for first. St. Francis and Emmanuel with 8:27, followed by Alabama, who we have on our live stream pair right now. University of Alabama, Birmingham with 8:21, and University of Maryland Eastern Shore, another NCAA school, with 7:98. And right behind them, we have Robert Morris, Illinois women, who are on our live stream pair with 7:91. So those are your top 5 for both the men and the women right now. After your first set.
So let's, I want to take a look at something. Coming in ranked 2nd in the country on the men's side, Whitewater is currently in 9th.
Yeah.
Robert Morris, ranked 4th, is currently leading. Pikeville, who was ranked 9th, is 6th. SCAD was ranked 16th. Is in 11th. Those are your top 4 seeds, everybody. The top 4 seeds coming in are currently 1st, 6th, 9th, and 11th. Only one out of the top 4 seeds currently through 4 games are in the top 4.
Yep. Yep, and that's just the way sectionals goes. I mean, it's kind of the same thing for the most part every year. You're going to have 2 teams that are going to bowl pretty well and get matched up here and kind of run away from the rest of the field. And then you're going to have a battle of probably 3 or 4 other teams for the last 2 spots. It just seems to be kind of the way it goes. The University of Alabama Birmingham through 6 frames over here, struggling to figure out this left lane as they bowl their first Baker game on it. 75 in the 6th frame with 4 opens. So hopefully they can make a move here the last half of this game and save this game and then figure it out for next game, put together a big score and save this set.
Been sitting here putting some rankings down coming into this event next to the scores here. Alabama 57th overall is in 3rd in the women's side. We'll see how long Alabama can stick around inside the top 4. Martin Methodist on the men's side is currently 8th and 9th on the women's side. "64 games of Baker is just an absolute, it's the Daytona 500. It's a lot of turning left over and over again for an extended period of time.
It is.
It's a lot of standing, too.
It is.
They don't get to sit down.
Yeah, it is. I remember at the end of some of these tournaments, my lower back was killing me, and it just no better feeling than to get in that van and sit back down to go back home. But we got the ladies finishing up their 7th game over here on lanes 25 and 26. The Robert Morris women finished out there with 178.
Yep.
And the University of Alabama Birmingham struggled a little bit that game.
Yeah, and they were in 3rd coming into these 4 games.
And I hear Robert Morris chanting "Go Maddie!" So I think they put Maddie Brandos as leading off now for Robert Morris.
Okay.
So there's your girl.
All right, bringing in the substitute.
And she strikes.
Yeah,
would
you expect anything else? Okay. Now I wonder if it was hey, we're saving her.
She's got to rest the arm. She's got to rest the arm. Can't use up all the strikes.
Yeah, maybe she's really good off the bench, and some other players take a while to warm up. So wanted to give it a shot without her in there, but she's in there and she's 1 for 1.
Finishing up over here on the guys' side, we have the University of Rio Grande, 159. Martin Methodist also struggling here. They can actually, they need all 3 in the 10th to tie them with 159. Not an easy pattern.
From a recruiting standpoint, although I'm older, I would have to say that Martin Methodist would be a cool school to go to because Bob Learn is the coach.
I believe, I could be wrong, this might be his 2nd year, but I think this is the 1st year that he's coaching the program. And yeah, I mean, if I'm an up-and-coming young bowler looking for a school to go to, the first thing I would do is look at who's the coach of the school, what's their background, what can they teach me, how can they improve my game, and what better way than to go get coached by Mr. 300 himself.
Yeah, and if I wanted to make it on tour, like if I was a really top recruit, my goal is to make it on tour, what a better person to talk to, throughout the year.
All that experience on tour, yeah. How many titles does Bob have on tour? Let's take a look. I'm curious. I got to think he has at least 5.
Oh, I believe he's
5 titles.
Wow, it is 5. Is that all?
Yep.
Huh. I would have guessed more than that.
5 titles is still a decent amount of titles.
His last win was in 2001, the Japan Cup, and he won the 1999 U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, that's a prestigious one to win.
Last year, he cashed in 10 out of 11 events on the PBA 50 Tour.
Martin Methodist getting that double in the 10th there to get them into the high 150s. 158 for them.
I'm looking at Bob's career here. In 2004, 2005, he cashed in 19 out of 19 events. Made 11 match plays. Averaged 217. Then the wheels kind of fell off in 2005, 2006. Cashed in 12 of 20. And then only bowled 2 out of 3.
That 1996 season was pretty solid, though.
1996, bowled 27 events, cashed in 22, made 14 match plays. CRA.
I would assume that's TV, maybe TV shows made?
Yeah. 7.
7 TV shows and 1 title for a small
$234,000.
$234,000 paycheck there.
Bob Learn has made over $100,000 3 years on tour. In 1993, he made $104,000. 1996, $234,000. And he made $101,000 in 2001, 2002.
So yeah, obviously some seasoned veteran on tour. Has been on tour for several years, and yeah.
Oh, Bobby Learn. Getting into our game number 8 now. Updated our graphic. Welcome to Inside Bowling in collaboration with BowlTV this weekend. I'm Mike Flanagan, joined by Matt Gasson. We're at the sectionals here in Smyrna. We have 16 games for you this morning, and then 16 games this afternoon, and we'll be back tomorrow with the same setup, 16 in the morning, 16 in the afternoon. It'll total 64. And the top 4 women's teams and the top 4 men's teams will advance to the Intercollegiate team and singles championships to be held in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going to just put that slide up here just for a second. Take a look at the dates, April 16th through 21st, April 18th through 21st. At Sun Valley Lanes, John Lucido and company will be hosting collegiate bowling. If you're in the area, you should go out and watch. And of course, all the coverage will be available to you on BowlTV on YouTube.
I think the one thing that I miss the most about college bowling is eating all the snacks that the parents would bring us. All the parents used to bake cookies and bring us Uncrustables. And you know what the funny thing about Uncrustables is, Mike? There's no crust on them, and have you ever seen, you know what an Uncrustable looks like, right?
Yes.
And I always rip the crust off the edges of them, even though the crust already wasn't there. Everybody used to always make fun of me on my team.
Make fun of you?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Because I was taking the crust off of an Uncrustable.
But nobody should make fun of you.
I would agree with that, but you know, can't have my way all the time. Oh, looking just off screen here, Mike. We got the front 6 over here on lane 31. Looks like that is Lincoln Memorial University.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for a couple more frames, see if we can't get a camera set up over there, if they keep that going.
If they get 8, I'll get up.
It's early for having a front 6 like that. I definitely expected it. Oh, 7 pin. I definitely expected to see some bigger scores like that a little later in the day, but that's a really good game this early in the day. They're still pretty difficult out there.
We also lose an hour tonight.
Oh, that's right. Daylight savings time, huh?
Springing forward tonight. Not the right weekend to do that. I wish it was next weekend.
Next weekend, they have the another collegiate tournament here, the Music City Classic. I'll probably come watch some of that, but I think if the weather's nice, I'm gonna do what I can to go out and play a little golf.
I could leave the live streaming equipment here and you could stream it.
I could. It would never get set up because I have no idea how to set it up, but you could leave it here.
I think you're kind of getting a feel for this, though.
Yeah, I got it.
You see what I'm doing.
I know how to
here.
work the soundboard thing. I know how to save a replay. I know how to change the camera and go live. Yeah, it's It's getting better.
You see me changing all the graphics.
I do.
We've got 16 graphics built now. So I've been sitting here doing. We're back up on the screen too, by the way, just so you know.
Oh. I guess I shouldn't pick my nose or anything.
I think it's cool to be able to see the commentators and what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You know, if it's ever silent, people think, oh, well, they left. No, we just don't really have anything to say at the moment.
All right, as we finish up this second set here, University of Alabama, Birmingham. Strikeout here on the 9th and 10th for 188. Robert Morris women just set up the 10th frame with a double. He strike out here for 214.
Rio Grande here. It's actually Rio Grande, right?
I thought it was Rio Grande.
No, it's Rio Grande.
Is it?
Yeah.
I kept only saying
We
Grande.
just like saying Grande.
Grande, yeah, I like that one better.
I think Starbucks started all that.
The Grande.
Yeah. And Ariana, of course.
Of course.
If Ariana Grande and Starbucks never comes out, I bet we're sitting here calling it Grand.
I would probably agree with that, actually.
It's amazing how pop culture changes the way we say words.
Pronunciations. University of Alabama, Birmingham striking in the 9th and the first one in the 10th. One more here will get them into the high 180s. Robert Morris with a spare of the first shot in the 10th.
Ooh.
Wash out. So that'll get them into the lower 170s there. Robert Morris with 193. And a good set for the Robert Morris women. Pretty good set. 760. Kind of puts them a little less than the set before, but you know, they're still tough out there, so it's not like they dug themselves a hole or anything. University of Alabama, Birmingham struggled a little bit that set. 173, 216, yep. 142, 173.
Pair of 173 bookends, huh?
Yeah, they bowled 704 that set, so they're gonna drop out of that top four, I think. But it's early. It's early. There'll be a good chance for them to get back in there.
How about this finish here for Rio Grande?
Yeah.
Rio Grande.
Rio Grande.
Now
you're kind of, it's a hybrid.
Boy, I got this all messed up. Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. Yeah, they threw the strike in the 9th and the first two in the 10th to get them into the 200s. And I'm not too sure. I missed what they bowled their first game, but they finished. They followed up whatever they bowled the first game with 226, 159, 208. So a potential decent set there. Martin Methodist looking to capitalize here on this triple.
Yeah, could be 4 in a row here.
Yeah, they can finish this game out with 242. And that would help them a lot as they have 184, 191, 158, their first three. Coming up next on the women's side, joining us on lanes 25 and 26, we will have North Carolina A&T, coached by Kim Terrell-Kearney and Eric Kearney. And on lanes 26, we will have Lindsey Wilson College. Joining us on the men in set 3, we have Ball State. and Pikeville. Pikeville's another highly ranked team. I think they're the 3rd seed in this section, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're the 3rd seed in this section. So after the first set, they were in 6th place. Not too sure what they bowled this set.
The team to watch in the standings is Whitewater. They're,
Yeah.
I mean, 2nd overall in the country, and they're in 9th after 4 games.
Yeah, you know, it could have just not matched up well on the fresh.
Sure.
You know, I know that was kind of an issue with us at Robert Morris. We all had a lot of rev rate, and we tended to fall behind just a little bit on the fresh, and then as the pattern started to break down and we could move left, that was our wheelhouse. That's where we made up our pins. So that could be all it is.
I'm enjoying the pace of play, though. It doesn't feel like we've been here very long, and we're about halfway done.
Yeah, halfway done the first set. I mean, that's just the way Baker goes. It's a much quicker pace. So I'm going to go ahead and get up here as these ladies come on over to 25 and 26, and I'm going to get a lineup for both of these colleges.
All right, great. Thank you, Matt. He's going to go take care of that. Martin Methodist can bowl 221. Anchor bowler with a strike. North Carolina A&T coming in. Lindsey Wilson on the women's side. The Red Storm Rio Grande finished up. Just waiting for Martin Methodist to finish out here. Oh, hook. He didn't like it off his hand. Still get 211. Martin Methodist was in 8th coming in here to this 4-game set. Good job on getting the paper this morning.
Yeah, that was a last-second thought there, right as we were finishing up practice.
Not the newspaper, but just the paper. He's got a bunch of paper up here. This is working out well. You get to keep the job. You can come with me anytime to college tournaments.
Thank you, appreciate it. 211 for Martin Methodist.
And we actually have game 9 underway already over here on the women's side.
7:44 there for Martin Methodist. All right, still waiting from a lineup from Lindsey Wilson, but over on North Carolina A&T, Coach Kearney brought us over her lineup. It's going to be led off by Mia Pope, followed by Kaylee Christ, Candice Bradley, Anna Olea, and the caboose there is going to be Cameron Strombeck, and we're getting a lineup right now from...
Yeah, and she was bowling awesome yesterday, Strombeck. Looking forward to seeing how she does here.
Yeah, she did. She bowled, I think she just missed the singles as well. I think she was maybe 8th or 9th or somewhere in that area. Yeah, she bowled a decent game in front of us on live stream, if I remember correctly. 12th, Cameron Strombeck.
256 the last game yesterday. That's why I remember her.
Lindsey Wilson College, lane 26. Led off by Becca Himbaugh, followed by Maddie Kane. Madeline Kane. Kelsey Grayson, Anna Etherington, and Madeline Zubricki.
We have some questions here. When's Robert Morris men going to come through our live stream? Are we going to have them at all either day?
Yeah, I believe they are coming through. Let me just double check here. Let's see, they are. So we will see the Robert Morris men in the 6th set today, the 2nd set this afternoon. And then we will see them again in the 4th set in the morning tomorrow. So we will be seeing Robert Morris men a little bit later this afternoon.
I just made a producer blunder. I had us up on the screen, and I needed to cough, so I went to go turn. Instead of turning down the soundboard, I turned us off on the screen. I knew I needed to do something in regards to us not being somewhere, but it was my instead of turning the sound down, I turned us off on the screen and coughed right into the microphone. So my apologies to everybody out there. It won't happen again. Bit of a producer blunder. So probably be, what do you think, about 10, 15 minutes before we get the scores from the last four set there. Looking forward to seeing how the teams jockeyed around for position. So it only took 2 hours.
For the first 2 sets.
Yeah, and that's with practice.
Yep. Practice, and we had that little celebrity first ball throw. All the local youth came in, and they each got assigned to a team, and they threw out the first ball of the tournament.
Yeah.
They usually do something special like that every year. Sometimes they have the coaches go out and throw it. Sometimes they'll let the senior on the team go out and throw it. A good shot there on 26 from Kelsey Grayson. North Carolina A&T off to a good start on this new pair.
We're going to be thrown a little off kilter here as far as our game graphics, because the women are well underway and the guys are taking a while.
And that's pretty common. The men kind of, even when we were the same way, the women almost always finished before we did, and our girls team would come down and watch us finish. I think the guys just kind of move slower. They're a little more lackadaisical, and the girls are, we'll say, more efficient at moving pairs and getting underway.
want to thank everybody for watching. If you're looking for scores, you can go over to bowl.com/sectionals for the scores.
All right, as these two men's teams get underway, I'm going to go ahead up there and see if I can get a lineup from these coaches.
Ball State and Pikeville underway on the men's side. Matt's out getting lineups. We'll have those lineups here for everyone shortly. North Carolina A&T off to a really good start. 234 with a strike on the fill here. Well, I'm glad that shot that went through the face struck because I'd already written down 234. You already wrote it down.
I wrote it down.
Nice game.
Very nice game.
For
Yeah, it's
North Carolina.
It's always tough to get a good start like that moving pairs, and hopefully that gives them a little momentum for the rest of the set. They can put up a big set.
After the first 4 games, they were in 15th of 16 teams, so 234.
I don't know what they bowled this second set. I know that I went over to ask Coach Kearney if I could get the lineup, and she didn't seem like she was in the best of moods. So I don't know how that second set went, but they're off to a good start here in set number 3. Hopefully they can put together 3 more big games. All right, Ball State on lane 27, leading the way, Braden Deshawn, followed by Blake Dollier, Dylan Ellsworth, Ethan Gerald, and Craig Monroe. All right, Pikeville men, lane 28. Leading the way, Anthony Allen, followed by Matthew Cleary, Gio Montesinos, Matt Diamond, and anchored by Andrew Letcher.
Matt Diamond, that's a good name.
I do, I like that one.
Well, you know I'm changing my name to Mike Valentine.
Mike Valentine.
Maybe you should change your name to Matt Diamond.
Mike Valentine and Matt Diamond.
Yep.
Coming at you live from Smyrna, Tennessee. I do. I need a radio name.
Matt Diamond, Mike Valentine, here at Sectionals.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. Once again, I'm up in heaven, smiling down. Passed away a couple of years ago. I don't know why they call it passing away. Yeah. But I passed up. Went up into the heavens. Watching a little bowling up here in heaven. With Andre the Giant. Yeah. Miss Elizabeth.
Trending Tammy, is there a place where I can see the lane assignments for the women today? I don't believe that's posted online anywhere. We'll double check for you right now.
Yeah, they do have a lane schedule.
Oh, they do, yeah. Lane schedule for if you go to www.bowl.com/sectionals, you'll be able to see the lane schedule in Smyrna, Tennessee for both the men and the women.
You'll also see that 2 of the live streams aren't set up yet in one region, and happens to be ours for tomorrow. But that's just because I haven't gone in and set it up yet.
No need to fear it. We'll be set up tomorrow.
I'm the only guy. I'm the only guy out of all these that hasn't set it up. But hey, that's okay. This morning, too, Matt and I agreed to meet here at 7:45, and the place was pretty full when we got here. And I think downtown Gary Brown was thinking, are these guys coming?
Yeah, and these teams don't mess around. I mean, there's actually a little bit of I don't want to call it a competition, but there's something about being the first team here at every day. So teams try to get here early. I know a lot of them like to do stretches and calisthenics out on the approaches together. So there's a lot of them that have a warm-up routine that takes some time, and they all got to tape up. A lot of them wear kinesiology tape and all that stuff. So so it definitely takes time to warm up. You got to get here early.
Yeah. So yeah, but we got on the air with no problem. I mean, we made our
we set it up in about 20 minutes, and
we made our deadline.
Yep.
Didn't miss a beat. We're here for you, everybody.
Yeah, and these are as long of a day as it is for us. It's even longer for these players. I mean, they all these teams usually travel with 8. They got 4 in a room, and you got 4 people trying to shower at one time in the morning, and it's you got to wake up early. I mean, waking up a lot of these guys waking up at 5 a.m. bowling all day. I mean, you know, it's college, so you're not going back. You're not going to sleep at 8 p.m. So
no.
I mean, you usually stay up, probably do some homework or something, back to bed at 11, maybe 12, and back up at it again at 5 a.m. to bowl another 32 games of Baker.
That's a lot. That's an awful lot. Game 9 on the right side of your screen, game 10 on the left side of your screen. Ladies are ahead of the men.
Updated standings through 2 sets.
They just drop right into the booth.
RMU men still leading the way on the men's side. 204, 210, 197, 225 that last set.
Who's in second?
Lincoln Memorial University.
They were second after the first 4.
In third, St. Francis, Illinois with 1589.
They moved up from 4th to 3rd.
They did. They had a pretty good set there. in fourth place is Emmanuel College. And University of Wisconsin-Whitewater moved up that set. They bowled 223, 229, 159, 181.
They're fifth?
Yep, they're fifth.
So Whitewater moved from 9th to 5th.
Yep, they moved up a couple of spots there. On the women's side, we have St. Francis leading the way with 1676. They are 64 pins ahead of second place after 2 blocks, or after two sets.
Yeah, 8 games. So who's in second?
Emmanuel College with 1612. Savannah College of Art and Design on the women's side, 1571, sitting in third. In fourth place.
Wow, they were in 8th, by the way. They moved all the way up.
Yeah, they did. They bowled 184, 201, 218, 199 there that second set. So a good solid set from them. In fourth place, University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Actually, they struggled a little bit that set. They went 178, 168, 170, and then bowled 247 their last game to save that set a little bit. So.
Okay.
And then Robert Morris University, Illinois, who was just on, and Alabama Birmingham, who are just on our live stream pair in 5th and 6th, respectively.
Well, there we have it.
Looking at the scores, actually, University of Maryland Eastern Shore has kind of done that in both sets. They have some 3 okay games, and then the first set they bowled the 245 the third game. So one big game in both of their sets to really kind of keep their head above water there.
So North Carolina A&T here, who we have on the left, coached by Kim Terrell-Kearney. They're in 14th, right? But they bowled 210 game 8 and 234 game 9.
Yep.
They're headed in the right direction.
Yep, just a couple. They're on a strike right now after the 5th frame, heading into the 6th, looking to double up here. Sounds like a 9 count.
It is. Lindsey Wilson is in 13th on the women's side, and over here on our men's side, Ball State is currently in 17th of 19 teams, and Pikeville is currently in 12th of the 19 teams.
And Pikeville is the third ranked seed here. So
and here's why they're in 12th.
And they're struggling in this game a little bit too. They can strike out here for one. They got to strike out here for 170. So they
bowled 117 game 8.
Oh wow. That's a game they're just coming off of right now. So yeah, they're struggling a little bit to figure out the lanes this weekend so far.
Yeah, you're right. Pikeville, 3rd highest ranked team in this field. They're ranked 9th overall. Whitewater, the top seed here. They're 2nd overall. Robert Morris, 4th overall coming into this event. Keep this right here. I'll be the standings guy. You can be the lineup guy.
All right, Ball State looking to get every pin they can here to finish up with 183. 182 it is. A rough finish there for Pikeville. 6 count there in the 10th. Leaving the 1-2-4-7. Not the easiest spare in the world, especially on a pattern this hard. And he cleans it up nicely. So that'll get them into the probable mid 150s. Or 117, 150 the last 2 games for the Pikeville men.
That's not good. That's going in the wrong direction.
It is, yeah. Hopefully they can get it figured out here. They've just finished their first game of this set on that lane, so they kind of have an idea of what the lane's doing now, and they can make the adjustments necessary and hopefully put up a bigger score this next game.
North Carolina A&T open in the 7th. I'm rooting for them.
They're a first-year program, correct?
This is year 2.
Year 2.
Yeah, year 2.
So they're a young program.
Well, it's year 2 since Kim has taken over.
Gotcha.
That I can guarantee that stat. I don't know if they had a program the year before or not.
.156 for Pikeville.
And that brings us into game number 10 now across all lanes.
Ladies here are getting ready to wrap up game number 10. Lindsey Wilson can strike out for a possible 183. North Carolina A&T looking to strike out here for a possible 176.
Once again, top 4 teams are going to advance to the Intercollegiate Singles and Team Championships.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yep, Lincoln indeed.
Sun Valley Lanes, beautiful bowling center.
Home of John Lucido.
Some fond memories there for me.
Ah, yes, memories that are of fun.
Lindsey Wilson and North Carolina A&T both opening in the 10th frames. Lindsey Wilson finishing with 162. North Carolina A&T finishing with 142.
There's some serious coaching going on down here by Kim Kearney.
Yeah, she's, you know, her team is struggling a little bit through those first 2 sets. They put up a big number there to try and get some momentum going, and they followed it up with 142. So she's just got to get some momentum going for her girls, and they got to go up there and start making some better shots and filling some frames.
We see you all in the chat. Hopefully you're all doing well. We've got all the hands up here for the attempt of the 5-pin.
I've always wondered what every school I feel like has a little different tradition if someone misses a 5-pin. I know when I bowled at Saginaw Valley, the team always came up with something pretty brutal that the person had to do. If you either missed a 5-pin or bowled under 120 in the team play, in the team games, the team would come up with something pretty brutal that you would have to do.
Under 120, huh?
Under 120, and it happened a few times. It was rare.
Wow. Did you see the Tigers playing well this week?
I was just about to ask how he was doing today in the Valspar. Yeah, he.
I don't know how he's doing. I don't think he's teed off yet.
I saw that he was leading at one point yesterday.
Yeah, he's in like a 6-way tie for second.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge Tiger fan. I mean,
tees off at 145. Interesting.
I just, you know, regardless of whatever he did off the golf course, he's it's just always fun to watch someone that talented at their craft compete. Not a fan of LeBron James personally, but still like watching him play.
What did you say about the craft?
Watching someone compete with their craft. Yeah.
So basically, by putting us on the screen,
this is our craft.
People should be enjoying watching us.
This craft
doing our
that
craft.
We've mastered.
Yeah.
Yes. I like how you think.
So we should have that for everybody to see.
I agree. And maybe this time, if you have to cough, you don't take that one off, and you
right.
you turn the mic down instead.
Yeah.
Mike should turn the mic down.
I will show you how I normally cough, everyone. I turn it down. And now I'm back.
And we're back.
That was a fake cough. That wasn't a real cough, by the way. I will tell you, it's extremely dusty in this bowling center. Like, hardcore dusty. Like,
wow.
Probably can't see that, but that's dust. Good song by Kansas, Dust in the Wind. George Gohagen III and I actually went to a Kansas concert one time.
George Gohagen.
And your dad thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Is George Gohagen a Kansas fan?
He didn't know who they were.
So he said we're going to see Kansas. He thought you meant you were taking him to the state of Kansas.
Yeah, but we went to a concert.
We went to a concert instead.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I bet when they said the Carry On My Wayward Son came on, he at least knew that one. He had to have known that one.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nothing?
No.
Man, that's unfortunate. George, you got to study up, man. You got to study up.
Yeah, when he took me to a Bone Thugs and Harmony concert, I knew half the words.
Yeah.
It was the first of the month and Crossroads. None of this is true, actually.
Oh, it's not?
There's no truth to
any of it. I thought you were being serious. You're really good at that.
No, it was a holiday doubles a couple years ago, and George Gohagen was really having fun on the lanes, and I was having fun in the booth. And I said, you know, it would be fun to go to a concert with George Gohagen sometime. And Matt Turek put me on the spot and said, well, what would you go see? And I said, Kansas. And your dad sent me a personal message and thought that was the most hilarious thing that I pulled Kansas out, you know.
That is really funny.
So that was like this ongoing joke that George Gohagen and I went to a concert. We went and saw Kansas together, yeah.
I just cannot see George going to a Kansas concert.
No,
That's what made it so funny. I thought you were being serious.
Right, yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Mike is a very good storyteller. He once convinced quite a few people that his, what was it, your grandfather?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yeah, my dad.
Your dad started the company Orange Julius.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't like that. I was seeking out to do this either. It just happened. We were at a
Chili's.
Charlie's in Hopkinsville, and there was some guy in there trying to tell us how he was an entrepreneur and how he knew all these things, and he was just talking our ears off. And finally, I'd had enough, and I just said to the guy with a straight face, I just said, "Hey, man, I know what's going on. I come from a rich, deep family that have started businesses, franchises." And he goes, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "Yeah." And I looked at Rich Hansen and I said, "Yeah, Rich, you know my dad started Orange Julius, right?" And Mike Judy said, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And Rich goes, your dad really started Orange Julius? And Mike Judy looked at him and said, you didn't know that? And I said, yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like, yeah, Orange Julius, man. And then this guy was like very intrigued, wanting to know how to start franchises and everything. And then after the guy walked away, I looked at Rich and I said, my dad didn't start Orange Julius. What's wrong with you?
And for those of you who don't know what Orange Julius is, they're usually found in like food courts and malls for the most part, and they serve like smoothies and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Orange. I mean, and the best. I think the best part of the whole thing is that of all the things that you could have named, you picked Orange Julius.
Orange Julius. Yeah, the more specific. Here's the thing: when you're
no one would believe it if you said TGI Fridays or something.
Right, or Outback.
Or Outback.
But if you, the thing is the more unique of things that you can tie into a made-up story, the more believable it
and
is.
Not only that, if you say it with confidence, and anybody believe anything if it's said with confidence.
It's all in the delivery.
That's one of my favorite Mike Flanagan stories, the Orange Julius.
Orange Julius. My dad started Orange Julius. Now, I am a fan of Orange Julius. I'd get a strawberry Julius usually.
When I was growing up, they had an Orange Julius in our local mall, and I used to go there all the time and get a hot dog.
Strike for the lefty. Boy, they really needed that. North Carolina A&T already in game 11. They've made the flip already. Lindsey Wilson, their opponent. We have a question. Trending Tammy wants to know, what game is this? Tammy, you can find out the answer on your screen on the bottom right. The guys are finishing up game number 10, and the women are in game number 11.
Ball State looking to cover up the spare here for 161. 182. The first game for them, so it'll be a 182-161 start with a conversion.
Hello, Fred. Tammy also says, never cough into your hand, always into your elbow.
Can you reach your elbow, Mike? That's tough. 161 there for Ball State. You know there are people in the world that can actually lick their elbows?
No, I didn't know
There
that.
are. I mean, it's hard.
Hadn't researched that one. Well, from what I can tell, scores are going down. Might just be
right in front of us here.
Yeah.
And it could just be the live stream camera black cloud. For whatever reason, the live stream always usually has some of the lower scores on it. I don't know if it's camera jitters or what. The other thing is I don't know, have you noticed, do you typically get put in front of the desk in the snack bar and for live streams?
It depends. It depends. It always is based off of where we're going to finish the tournament. College is different, and we have to be right in the middle.
I just got a text from my mom reminiscing about our when she used to take me to Orange Julius when I was a kid. She liked that story.
What's even funnier about founding Orange Julius is what your mom mentioned in the text. The chances of an American starting Orange Julius
very
is
slim.
very slim, or at least being a franchise owner.
Right. Ooh,
Yeah.
a gutter on the fill there for Pikeville, giving away some free pins.
That's no good.
166 there. So 117, 156, 166. But they are trending upwards.
Going into game number 11 here
Going
now.
into game 11. New lane. Fresh start.
Okay, making the flip. And everybody's in game 11 right now, but only one frame left in game 11 for Lindsey Wilson and North Carolina A&T. Don't forget, everybody, you can check out 3 other live streams that are going on today. You can go over to bowl.com/sectionals and get all the links to everywhere you need to go. Support Craig Elliott down in Dallas with BowlStream TV. He's actually on BowlTV today, but support his platforms, BowlStream TV, and also Emil and Aaron. Aaron Smith is in New Jersey, and Emil Williams is in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. Make sure you subscribe to BowlTV. Make sure you subscribe to Inside Bowling on YouTube. Get instant notifications when we go live. Also, this weekend, if you would like to help support what we do at Inside Bowling, head over to InsideBowling.com and go into our merch store, have a look around, and if you'd like to save 15%, you can with coupon code YouTube. YouTube is the coupon code for 15% off. We appreciate those of you that have supported our online merch shop. Much appreciated. And we've got another 5-pin for Ball State.
I wonder who started that, the hands in the air thing for a 5-pin. Oh no, they don't have a 5. They have a full rack up there. I don't know what they're doing.
Full rack.
Yeah, they got a full rack on lane 28. Oh, it's for lane 27. They got a 5-pin. They're holding it up for the other team.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I saw a 5-pin on my screen, and I was just like,
yeah, lane 28 had a full rack for them.
I'm only looking at the screen anymore because I can't see anything around here.
It's already nerve-wracking when you got to shoot a 5-pin and your own team's got all their hands up, but when the other team joins in.
Yeah, and then to get on top of that, how about being on a live stream pair?
Yep. Don't want to miss it.
I'll tell you, I think the next thing I want to do with this, us being on the screen, is I do want to have a green screen behind us. And how cool would it be if it was just us?
Just kind of floating?
Yeah, floating.
I'm down.
We can go to Walmart on the break if you want.
Does Walmart sell green screen?
Yeah, well, green felt.
Green
yeah,
felt.
Put that up right behind us. Could be pretty nice.
Game 11 finishing up there for the women on lanes 25 and 26. Lindsey Wilson with 150 and North Carolina A&T with 157. They are a whole game ahead of the men.
A whole game ahead. Had a Baker 299 in New Jersey today.
Stratford. I'm sure they'll have that up on their bowl.com, BowlTV channel shortly. And they are bowling on the same pattern at all 4 sections, but as we've been kind of checking in on our end on the other live streams, and the one thing I noticed is that everybody seems to be bowling on a different lane surface in New Jersey. Seeing looks like HPL or SPL surface. We have Pro Anvil lane here in Smyrna, Tennessee. Big difference between those two surfaces. The Pro Anvil lane's a much harder lane surface. There's not as much texture to it. And that allows for the lanes to play a lot tighter. So that higher friction lane surface typically is going to produce some more scores. And that would explain why we're seeing 299s there and a little bit lower scoring pace here.
Yeah, I am going to incorporate that into these live streams. I'm going to get that green screen for behind us. I'm going to start doing that.
You usually have a backdrop or something behind you when you stream.
Yeah, I had been. I don't anymore, but I had been.
Now I kind of like the. I mean, if you look at it, there's like the moving people behind us. It almost looks like we're like.
Oh yeah, well that's true. It's like college game day.
Yeah, college game day almost.
But yeah, you're right. One whole game ahead here. You got game 11 on the right side of your screen, game 12 on the left side of your screen.
And it's funny too because I mean I know it's women versus men, but yesterday lane 25 was almost a whole game behind everybody.
Yeah. The women's round yesterday took less time also.
It did. Yeah, I just think they bowl faster. I think they're just more efficient than the men at getting to the next pair and starting their bowling. And I also don't think they give two-lane courtesy like the men do. I think some of the men give two-lane courtesy. I could be wrong though. Men are just they're a little prima donna sometimes.
Yeah. Carry on my wayward son.
And we've got so that's what they were doing with these blue screens in between some of the pairs. Now they've got the scores scrolling.
Yeah.
They've got the scores scrolling live for us, so we don't have to sit here and do the math. It's already up there for us.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have a blue screen like super close.
Yeah, I have pretty good eyesight, so I can see.
Oh, well, that's good, because I don't.
Oh, we can see. Oh, and it shows it changes, so it shows all the sections. So it looks like Lindenwood, Calumet, St. Ambrose, top 3 in Fairview Heights, Illinois, right now.
That's cool.
That's for the women.
It's like being at a baseball game, updating the scores.
Yep.
Yeah, news from around the league today.
It is. It's like the ticker. Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah. Now, if they can only pipe that into our as a camera input here, we'd really be cooking with gas. I could just pop that baby up somewhere on the screen. Probably not that out of the question. Well, let's see if we can improve here on the 5-bagger.
It's a nice little string there for Ball State.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sounded like a 4-pin.
Yeah, it was almost a 4-9. 9 fell out late.
Looks like Robert Morris just off the screen there on lane 24 through the last 5 for 215 that game.
North Carolina A&T with 2 doubles this game.
We're going to capitalize here in the 9th, set of the 10th frame. Possible 218 off the board. Lindsey Wilson with a possible 226.
Nice shot there in the 9th.
Yep.
So North Carolina A&T trying to bail out a game here. What were their games so far?
234, the first game they came over was a really solid game, and then they followed that up with 142 and 157. So a 218 here would help dig them out of that hole just a little bit. It'd be a little better set than they
give them about 750.
Yeah, it'd be a much better set than they bowled their first 2 sets. So a little momentum going into this last set for the block, then refuel at lunch and come back for another 4 sets this afternoon. Six count, 2, 4, 5, 7 there in the 10th. Tough spare for North Carolina A&T. I keep wanting to say AT&T.
Yeah. That's because you just want to go to AT&T Stadium.
I don't even like AT&T. I'm a Verizon guy. I don't even know why I say it.
Did you see my pictures from Cowboy Stadium?
I did, yeah, but I commented on it. I was like, "Can you fire the whole coaching staff for me?" I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and I'm not a fan of.
Did you see my live stream from the field?
I did not. No, I've been down. It's not very far at all from the International Bowling Campus and the ITRC.
You can throw a rock at.
Yeah, down in Arlington. Right around the corner, and I've been there several times. I've driven past the stadium. I've never actually been inside. Oddly enough, the stadium I have been inside and took a tour of was the Green Bay Packers Stadium when we had a little stretch there where we had the Queens and the Masters in Green Bay a few years ago. That was a cool place to visit.
Yeah, you just drive down the road in a neighborhood, and it's just there.
Yeah,
there it is.
It's in you're literally driving through a residential neighborhood, and you come up to one of the most famous stadiums in sports, randomly, the Frozen Tundra.
All right, now switch us over to our Game 12 graphic, as Game 12 is just finishing on the left 2 lanes, and Game 12 is just beginning on 27 and 28 here.
150 for Pikeville. I mean, they were struggling. 117, 156, 166, 150. Yeah, I don't know what they got to do. It's tough. It's very tough to see their ball reaction from here. I have to imagine. I mean, they're either making really bad shots or they're just in the wrong part of the lane with the wrong equipment. .191 finish there for Lindsey Wilson. .685 there for Lindsey Wilson. That 4-game set. .727 there for North Carolina A&T. I did it again. You know what else I do? Anytime I'm talking about USB-C, or I'm sorry, anytime I'm talking about a USB drive,
okay,
I call it a USB-C drive.
that should be written into a "you know you're a bowler" win.
Yeah.
You go to Best Buy and ask for a USB-C drive.
I need a 16 gigabyte USB-C disk, USB disk.
Matt, do you have any advice on ordering a computer or what kind I should get? We'll just make sure it has a whole bunch of USB-C ports.
Hey, Fred, saw the video of me throwing the track alias, where that ball is going to fit in my arsenal. It depends on which one I'm throwing. The asymmetric one is going to be, it's a very strong cover stock. sanded cover stock, strong asymmetric core. So that's going to be for the heavier oil conditions. Higher volume patterns where I'm looking for the ball to really change direction and pick up on the lane. If I drill the symmetric option, I'm going to be throwing it on patterns more like what we're bowling on today. Flatter lane conditions where I'm looking to kind of round out the overall motion of the ball, keep control of the lane. That's going to be a big-time tournament ball with that layout for me. So those are the two options there for the alias. The track alias.
Your dad just tagged us on Facebook. Says, listening to Mike Flanagan and Matt do the live stream. Best team since Summerall and Madden. I love Frank Caliendo. I don't talk about that guy enough on here, but Frank Caliendo is absolutely hysterical with his Madden impersonation, amongst others.
He does a lot of them. George Bush, and yeah, he does a lot of them. I'm John Madden. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to do those. I just like when he's like, when he does Bush and he's like, hey George, did you get a degree in bowling? Oh, you mean bowlification? And then he does that look with his eyes.
What does he say? He's like, I got the nuclear instead of nuclear.
Yeah.
Coming over to lanes 25 and 26 for this fourth and final set of the morning. We have Cumberland and Bethel. Where are they sitting at in the standings right now, Mike?
Cumberland
after two sets
in 9th, and Bethel is in 16th, so they have nowhere to go but up. 1184 for Bethel. Cumberland 1433.
I'm going to go ahead up there and get the lineups from the coaches. Oh, Pikeville putting together a little strike train here.
Yeah, and Ball State still has 279
They do. Yeah, it'd be nice to see them put together two big games here and get some momentum going into that fourth and final set of the morning.
While you're out, would you dispose of those, please?
I will dispose of your batteries.
Thank you. Oh, that was a good shot. Left the 10-pin. Ball State trying to get something going here. They were in 17th coming into this 4-game set. Pikeville with a strike. Once again, just to tell the story here, Pikeville, 9th overall in the country coming into this event. They find themselves in 12th after a 117 game the last set.
Pikeville still on that string, 5 in a row there. I'm not sure what they did. I don't know if the coach gave them a little, chewed them out a little bit.
I think what he said was, hey, look, guys, here's the deal. We all got a beautiful, nice hotel rooms and everything tonight. If we don't get things going, you can forget about the hotel rooms. You'll be out on the asphalt. And I think they said, well, we need to get a good night's sleep, coach. They said, well, you need to start bowling better.
Well, I can tell you a funny story about not sleeping in a hotel room. So there was a college tournament that we bowled. It was the Lehigh Valley Classic in 2014, Allentown, Pennsylvania. And the entire bowling center got infected Everybody got sick. Everybody was in between frames. They were running into the bathroom and vomiting, and I mean actually when we left, the entire bowling center actually closed down the next day or two to decontaminate. And
what happened?
Everybody had it was a flu. Everybody caught the flu. And
oh my word!
Yeah, everybody in the bowling center.
Did you catch it?
I did. I was sick for a week. Yeah. However, we had a kid on our team who was a germaphobe, a major germaphobe, and he didn't get sick, and he did not want to get sick. So instead of sleeping with his teammates in the hotel room that we had, he slept out on the couch in the lobby of the hotel room.
Are you serious?
True story. And he did not want to come back in the room. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a true story. That was one of the craziest weekends of bowling. I mean, there would be kids.
Matt's getting some scores here. Some lineup changes.
Sorry about that. So, yeah, there was, you would literally be up on the approach, and there would be kids setting up, and they would have to put their ball back down to run into the bathroom. It was crazy.
Wow. I bet that tournament took a while to bowl.
It did. Yeah, I will never forget that one.
Wow, what a nice cover there.
Yeah, good cover in the 10th there.
Let's look at it one more time. 4-10. Slides it right over.
And it saves their game, allows them to get into the mid-220s now. Same with Ball State if they cover up this single pin spare, which they do. So 2 good games there.
Cumberland and Bethel. Cumberland's quite a bit ahead here. 5 out of 6 strikes. They like the new lane.
Yeah. Let's see who's bowling for them. We got University of Cumberland. Shannon Jones is their leadoff bowler, followed by Kerrigan Welch, Michaela McReynolds, Jasmine Traylor, and Sarah Doyle.
Too bad this isn't match play. 224 to 225 over here. 27 and 28. Hopefully Pikeville can get it going here and build off of this 224 game they just bowled. And good luck to Ball State also. Bowling 225 the last game.
Yeah, so that they still bowled 696 there. Not a great set. That 224 did help them out, though. It could have been even worse than that. So hopefully they get going here this last set. A little momentum going forward. .757 for Ball State. Bethel starting 5, Maddie Gray, followed by Tiara Jackson, Haley Butkowitz, Alyssa Easley, and Nicole Taylor. Coming over to the men, I see Carl Nicolai, so I would assume that means Michigan State will be joining us, and they are.
Oh, Carl Nicolai.
Carl Nicolai is the head coach, longtime head coach of Michigan State.
Does he still run collegebowling.com?
I do believe that he does. Yeah, he's really, really involved there.
You know, I made an offer to purchase collegebowling.com about 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to revamp the whole website and really put a lot.
Give it a little new look there.
Yeah, I still would be interested in purchasing it. So while you commentate this game, I'm just going to go down and negotiate the whole deal.
Let's get it done right now while they're bowling. 27 and 28, we have. Oh, we have Vacant and Michigan State joining us. So you want to I'll go out and get my stuff.
Yeah, Matt's going to bowl.
I'm going to pace
game 1.
I'm going to pace with Michigan.
1.
Yeah.
And then I'll bowl game 2.
Yeah, and it's actually nice. I'm actually going to like not having a team in front of me, and now I can kind of see what's going on the lanes and maybe give you a little better analysis of some ball reaction.
I think it's a good play. I'm actually going to go up and mess with Gary Brown and Brandon real quick. I'm going to tell them that we're serious. That
yeah, we're going to go get our stuff and bowl. Absolutely. Yeah. Katie. Cumberland finishing up game number 13. Pretty strong there. Pick up this spare for 223. It's a good start there. Robert Correggio, do you know how Whitewater is doing? The Whitewater men were in 5th after the first 2 sets. We have not gotten an updated standing sheet after the 3rd set yet. Some teams are just finishing up their 3rd set, so I expect to have that shortly. Bethel with a strike in the 9th gives them a chance to step up in the 10th here and strike out for 201. I got some comments in the chat there from Cameron Weir about the sick story. Our friend that slept in the lobby.
Really?
Yeah, that's funny. We still tell that one all the time in our group chat. That's one of our favorite stories. And then Katie was talking about how sick I got. Said I needed life alert. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah. I've fallen and I can't get up. There was a different name for that when it first came out, I believe. We're in game 13, right?
We are in game 13. Yes, the men are just starting game 13, and the women are one women's team is finishing up game 13. The other one had just started game 14. So we're kind of all over the place. And Vacant hasn't even started their 13th game yet.
No.
How rude of them.
They thought I was being serious when I went up there too, about you bowling. And they're like, yeah, well, no, we just can't do that. And I said, well, I don't understand. That lane's going to have less lane play compared to the others, and I'm sure you want the same amount of bowling balls traveled on it before somebody else were to go to it.
And the way that my ball breaks down a lane, it's about the same as if 5 people were bowling.
Absolutely. Well, you were going to bowl 5 different styles, weren't you?
Yeah, I was going to bowl right-handed, left-handed, two-handed righty, two-handed lefty in between the legs.
Yes.
And then I was going to sub in on the fill a backwards bowler.
Yep. 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 I knew that's what you were doing, and unfortunately, we were vetoed.
No go there, I guess.
So you see that vacant spot there on the right side of your screen, right there in the middle right. That would have been Matt bowling the whole time. I would have been his coach. I would have been letting him know how to move on the lanes, where to go.
I'll tell you what, you know, sitting back here now, I can kind of actually see the lane. I'm seeing quite a few ball lines in the front part of the lane, left of like 17, 18. They even go all the way into about 23. We're only in the 4th set of Baker. We still got 4 more sets today.
With no re-oil.
With no re-oil. So I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say towards the end of the day here, we're going to see some of the teams getting in front of the ball return and doing a 3-step approach, and some of them may even be lofting it. I know that was typically the case when we bowled sectionals. They got pretty dry, and we ended up having to do that. So.
So we don't have as long of a break today, so we're going to have to consider where we're going to go to lunch.
Yeah, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday. Solid choice, by the way. It was really good. But, yeah, there's a million different options on this road that we could pick.
Today it's going to have to be a little bit quicker.
Chick-fil-A? You can never go wrong with some Chick-fil-A.
No, I think that might be the answer today.
It's not Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. Whew. You gotta, every time you mention Chick-fil-A on a weekend, you have to stop and think if it's Sunday or not.
Well, the thing is, being a math major like I am, you have a 50-50 chance on the weekend of Chick-fil-A being open.
300. What did you say yesterday? Through 3 frames, 2 people had a triple, and you were like, if both of them bowl 300, combined they'll bowl 600 or something.
I think I said if both of them strike out, they'll have a combined score of 600. It's amusing. It's an amusing booth here. Trevor, seriously, dude. Trevor, in the chat. If you're going to say anything, or if you're not going to say anything nice, don't say anything at all. That's what I was trying to say. All right, Trevor. Thank you.
So far through 7 frames, Michigan State, they should have a solid game going, but they've missed 2 single pins. I mean, we've seen that a lot this weekend on these 2 pairs. Just a lot of single pin misses. Yeah, you got to make those. Those are game killers. Even if you got got a couple of doubles up on the board, and now you missed some single pins. Now you're still struggling to get to 200, where you should be in the 220s. And we got some updated standings just now from our tournament director friends. Robert Morris, Illinois men still leading the way with a big set that last set. They are 200 pins ahead of second place after 12 games. 237, 192, 229, 234 there for them. 200 pins ahead of second. Lincoln Memorial University in second with 2350. St. Francis, Illinois in third with 2320. Emmanuel College in fourth with 2291, 1 pin ahead of Wisconsin Whitewater. Wisconsin's kind of making up some ground there with 2290. And Savannah College of Art and Design right behind them with 2259. On the ladies' side, St. Francis University leading the way, 25-31. They are 120 pins ahead of second place. Second, Savannah College Art and Design, 2409. Followed by Alabama Birmingham. They had a good set after they left our live stream pair. And so did Robert Morris Illinois women. Alabama with 23-10 and Robert Morris women with 22-98. Right behind Robert Morris women is Pikeville, 22-83. So those are your top 5 men and women.
Yeah, Emmanuel really dropped. They were in second, dropped down to 6th. Only bowled 166, 177, 173, and 141.
Yeah, it only takes one bad set, but on the flip side, it only takes one good set to get back into it. So
yeah, in game number 12 over on the women's side, listen to the scores that were bowled. 253, 203, 193, 215, 215 by the top 5 teams. And Emmanuel, who was in second, only bowled 141. That's going to hurt.
In the 4th game of that set.
Yeah.
So we've got Michigan State in the 2-0s. Looking to get one more strike to get them into the possible 2 teens. High 2s. I'm going to run down. I actually forgot to do it. I'm going to run down and talk to Carl and see if I can get a lineup for them.
Okay.
.198 finish there for Michigan State. Where's Michigan State in the standings? Down there after 3 sets, looks like they're in 14th. I'm sorry, I'm looking over there.
17th.
17th. So they 16th. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, 17th.
Yep, 17th.
Cumberland struggling a little bit this game. Baby split up on lane 25, the 2-7. Looking to convert this to get into the 150s. Following up a 223 game. And they convert it nicely. All right, Michigan State. Warren Perroyne leading the way for Michigan State, followed by Jason McKelvey, Dylan Stokes, Patrick Mahiri, and Travis Holpuck. Oh, I see, he wrote it out for me, Holpuck.
Just to let you guys know what's going on here, finishing up game number 14 over on 25 and 26, and beginning game 14 over here on 27 and 28. I just went through all the games, 12 games so far, and I want to tell you how many 200 games were bowled in the men's division in each game. Game number 1, there were 2 200 games out of the 19-team field. In game number 2, it increased to 4. Also in game 3, there were 4 200 games. In game number 4, there were 5 200 games. In game number 6, there were 6 200 games. In game number 6, there were 7 200 games. In Game 7, there were 3. In Game 8, there were 6. In Game 9, there were 7. Game 10, it dropped down to 3 200 games. Game 11, there were 4. But in Game 12, 9 of the games were 200 or better. Over on the women's side, they bowled 4 200 games in Game 1, followed by 6, 6, and 6 in Games 2, 3, 4. Then 3 200 games in Games 5 and 6, 2 200 games in Game 7, 5 200 games in Game 8, 4 200 games in Game 9. It increased to 6 again in Game 10. Game 11, only 3 200 games, and in Game 12, 5 200 games. So just interesting.
And all 5 were of the 1, 2, 3. So 4 of the top 5 teams, those 5 200 games came from.
The high game that I see on the day is 276 bowled in Game 4 by Pikeville.
Pikeville women.
Yep, Pikeville women, that's right. Over on the men's side, I don't really see a super high score. There was a 256 by SCAD in Game 12. And just glancing at the scores quickly, there's a bunch of numbers here. That looks like the highest game bowled of the day on the men's side.
Yeah, overall, after 12 games, even would be 2,400. And there's only 1 men's team plus, and there's 2 women's teams plus.
Yeah.
So I would say that the women are bowling better than the men through 12 games.
They are.
I mean, I'm looking down. I mean, if there would be, right now, there would be two women's teams in the top 4 of the men.
That's true. What does that tell you? Straighter angles?
Yeah, and that's going to be the case on these shorter, these medium flatter patterns. Typically a little less rev rate, lesser rev rate to medium rev rate, kind of playing between that 5 to 12 part in the front part of the lane. Just kind of keeping your angles in front of you. And it's very similar to kind of what you see at USBC Nationals every year, that 37, 38, 39 foot flatter type pattern. And you look at the guys winning the team event last year, Scott Pohl and Adam Barta and those guys, and you know, there's no super high rev rates on that team, and they all kind of play straighter angles. Mike Rose.
Switching lanes going into game number 15 over here on 25 and 26. Bethel and Cumberland. And Michigan State finishing up game number 14 before they make the switch over to lane 27. It's been patiently waiting for them to come over and bowl on.
Lane, that vacant team has been beating up that lane, though.
Yeah, I mean, they really have.
Just using way too much surface. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for Michigan State when they get over there.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, they talk about pattern carving.
Yeah.
And I think this needs to be looked at sometime down the road.
I think they're doing it on purpose. I think it needs to be reviewed, and I think vacant should honestly be considered for disqualification.
Yeah, I might disqualify the vacant team, but the one thing, though, that they will not be able to take away from them is, you know, they vote on awards, and they're voted on by the players. And if the vacant team doesn't win the most consistent award, then it's going to be a crime.
They are.
And I may never live stream ever again if that happens. So hopefully the players get it right.
Do the right thing.
And the vacant team is voted most consistent. Trevor, you don't have to leave the chat. We like having you here, Trevor, in the chat.
Two hours and 7 minutes until Tiger tees off by my watch.
Yeah, here's the question for everybody in the chat. I'd like for you to weigh in. When we come back on here, Inside Bowling, in collaboration with BowlTV, we'd like for you to vote in the chat. Would you like for us to come back and do commentary, or would you like for us just to click the cameras and change the graphics every game and let you just do a little Paul Simon, the sound of silence? Let you just get out there and just watch and hear the pins clatter around, and we'll watch Tiger. So you guys vote. Let us know in the chat what you'd prefer. If you guys want us to do commentary, we're totally going to, no problem. But if you don't want us to, let us know too.
And we'll be Tiger watching. And you know what? I actually have a red shirt that I brought with me for tomorrow for Tiger Sunday.
Oh.
So I'll be wearing that in the booth.
I'll be wearing purple tomorrow.
Purple? No, you should have saved this one for Sunday. You could have worn the purple and we would have looked like a nerds candy.
Yeah, we would have. That's true. Well, we've got 2 votes for commentary. Well, 3 votes for commentary. And I've always been told how bad we are at commentary.
Yeah,
so
I don't know why anyone wants to hear us.
Sounds like people would rather hear us than nothing, which is good. At least we can keep paying the bills, all this money for streaming. Making some noise over there. Florida State. Florida State men over there have a triple over on lanes 31 and 32 out of camera range. Just thought I'd share that as they were making some noise. Here's the question for you guys in the chat. If you could either have us talking with just a black screen or the bowling with no sound, what would you rather have? Now, granted, if it was just a black screen, we'd actually be calling it as if it was a radio broadcast. We'd be telling you what's going on.
Second by second, and every time someone strikes, I would be scream out like the soccer man, goal!
Yeah. Up on the approach, the ball has been delivered onto the lane. It's at the break point. It's making its move, and
oh, Stonate.
Wow, we have votes for this is a mixed bag here.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of it's always a little bit different watching bowling in person versus watching it on a live stream. And I always appreciate the commentary. Kind of livens it up, keeps it humorous. And not only that, but you can only see on the live stream the 2 pairs that are on screen. Sometimes we'll be updating you from a couple of pairs off to the side. Ball State over there getting loud. They just came off our live stream pair. They've got spare 7-bagger. What game were they in? 14th game. $290 would be huge.
Would be. If they get the one in the 9th, I might move the camera there. Just because.
Yeah, I'm seeing scores are starting to go up here a little bit. I think there's some friction, some free hooks starting to develop in the pattern. They're starting to blend out just a little bit and allow the guys to move left and hook the lane. I think once the guys come back from lunch, we're going to see some scores. It's going to be interesting. All right, Ball State with spare 8-bagger. So we're going to move our mobile camera to behind Ball State. And they just threw the first one in the 10th. So they've got, they're in the 270s. And we're going to go live here, take you over to Ball State. They're getting loud. Mike's holding the camera up so you can see up over everyone, so that's why it's a little bit shaky. Ball State in the 11th shot, crossing over. Leaves an 8-pin, still a really great game from them. All right, we're gonna switch you back over to our featured pair. A really nice game there from Ball State.
Yeah, sorry for the shaky camera work, but it's kind of the best I could do.
Yeah, it's hard. You can't really set it up on the table because you can't see over the teams, but
Guess they're making some sort of an announcement.
Yeah, about lunch.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Yeah, they don't. I seem to remember the break is not overly long. I remember the years that we bowled sectionals, we bought lunch meat prior and made sandwiches at lunch in the paddock.
Ken Ryan here says, how about right before each shot hits the pins, you black out the screen?
Kind of like the end of The Sopranos.
Yeah. We need a steady cam. Well, it was because I was holding it on a pole and the thing was a little shaky. Usually I don't. Usually I just set up the tripod, but
A little difficult with all these bodies standing up by the approach. It's been really kind of difficult sitting back here. Can't really see the ball motion or anything like that on the lanes today.
Game 15 of 16. Game 16 underway over on the women's side. We'll be back with you at 1:45 today with the next batch of games. All right, we're improving our technology here. Up in the booth, we have actually have the sectional qualifiers scrolling for us.
Want to go ahead and rattle some of those off? Well, this is our section, so we know what that is through 12.
Yeah, let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I can get into broadcast mode here with these score updates.
You got to go quick because it's a little fast.
Yeah, it is
almost
fast.
like an auctioneer.
Taking out the Stratford men, William Patterson lead, followed by Weber International, Moorhead State, and Northwestern Ohio. And Stratford for the women. We have Weber International, followed by Sacred Heart, Schenectady Community College, and Notre Dame. And coming up next, we have they got us back to Smyrna here. I don't have anything for Fairview Heights or Dallas yet.
Let's see if it's, is that what's scrolling up on the TVs?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the same thing. And that would kind of make sense.
Dallas, Texas, we have Kansas, McKendree, Midland, and Wichita State for the men. That's after 8 games.
Oh, here's Fairview Heights. Calumet in the men, followed by Vincennes, Nebraska, and Lindenwood. Arizona State just 7 behind. Davenport just 8 pins behind.
That's a close one out there.
Yeah. Looks like there was an update. That's why we got Smyrna twice. And let's see if we get Dallas here. Fairview Heights women. Lindenwood lead, St. Ambrose second, Campbellsville third, Stephen F. Austin fourth, and just 39 pins behind Calumet. And see if we get Dallas scrolling for us. Nope, no Dallas yet.
It's up on that screen over there after 8.
Okay, it probably just comes back to Smyrna each time and then goes to another region because Smyrna is where we are.
Yeah.
Must be what they're doing. I have a DJI Osmos, guys, for my cell phone. We also have a Ronin for when we shoot our
ball videos.
Ball videos, yeah. Okay, Dallas, Texas, McKendree leads, followed by Midland, Wichita State, and Kansas Wesleyan. 1 pin behind is Spring Hill. And that's on the men's side. And over on the women's side, McKendree leads, followed by Wichita State, William Penn, Baker, and Newman is 57 pins behind in the Dallas region.
And that is after 12 games.
Yep, fully updated.
So we're fully updated across all sections after 12 games. What does the scoring pace look like? I'd like to run a scroll through again and take a look and see if it's similar to our section. Our section seems like it's a little bit on the lower scoring side. Only 1 men's team and 2 women's team plus.
Michigan State finishing up game number 15 here. Just 2 more to go, and then we'll finish up with game 16. Game 16 well underway on lanes 25 and 26 in the women's division.
2 teams in New Jersey are plus on the men's side. After 16, they're done over there because they're an hour ahead of us. No teams plus on the women's side. So yeah, it looks like they're pretty difficult across the board.
Matt, are you a Mac or a PC guy?
Currently, the only laptop that I own is my work computer, which is a PC. But if I were to ever get a personal computer, it's Apple 100%. I'm a Mac guy. I actually had a MacBook about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, that I just never used it. And so I actually sold it to Kenny Ryan.
Really?
I did, and he's still using it. Yeah, he's still using it.
I will tell you that it is by far the most important piece of technology that I have.
Your computer?
Yeah.
For what you do, I couldn't agree more. For what I do outside of work, I almost never am on a computer ever. So I pretty much I have my phone.
My phone's pretty important, but they are tied 1A and 1B.
Cumberland's with a pretty good game there. It's 2 single pin misses. Going to cost them from bowling about 240. Instead, they're going to end up finishing with about 214. What places men's Notre Dame in New Jersey? We'll keep an eye out for that and update you in just a second. Notre Dame men are in 10th, 181 pins behind 4th place in Stratford, New Jersey.
Notre Dame, Ohio's in 4th.
On the ladies' side.
On the ladies' side. All right, game 16. Last game. Here we go, Michigan State. Game 16 just finishing up here on the ladies' side. So Michigan State's going to get to be the star of the show here because the ladies will be done. And, of course, vacant. They're over there just carving the lane up, and we don't even want to talk about those guys. But
yeah. I think we need to report them. I really do. I'm gonna bring Gary Brown over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can't do something about vacant. I don't know if you know this or not, but that's actually where I graduated from.
From vacant?
Yeah. Yeah. I was a valedictorian in my class. Nobody showed up, but I was there.
Valedictorian of vacant.
Yep.
You showed up to vacant?
Yep.
That's kind of a, what is that? It's not an oxymoron, is it?
No, it was actually it was a really nice ceremony. That's what it was. I went to the library, got a podium, stood up, addressed no one, received nothing, and left. My mom got me a cake, though.
That was nice of her.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the women finishing up here. They're going to head off to lunch. Men are finishing up there. Oh, you know what? We're going to be a little confused because that's going to be 2 games behind now the entire time.
What's going to be 2 games behind?
See how because the vacant and bowl there are 2 games, so there's only going to be 14 on the left and right. So we got to just add 2 to whatever is on lanes 27 and 28.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen, actually. I think when we come back, they're going to start it over at 1. It'll be number 1.
Yeah, if they do start over, it would be number 1. You're right.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
All right, so what are we doing for lunch? Chick-fil-A?
I think we will.
I think that sounds good to me. I
Check out the...
Can never go wrong with some Chick-fil-A.
I got to check out the Ronts around here.
Chick-fil-A, by the way, I fully expect a free chicken sandwich for the shout-out on the live stream.
They would probably do that for us.
Probably.
We need to find out where all these teams are going and not go there.
Yeah, I think... What time do we start?
1:45.
1:45. Yeah, I think the majority of these teams are going to be heading down to that area. So, I don't know. We'll go find out. Toots is good. Toots is kind of like a miniature type of B-dubs.
I'd be okay with that, too.
Pie 5 is good. They got pizza, but it's kind of like it's like Chipotle, but it's pizza. You go down a line and like add your toppings, and then they throw it in the oven for you.
Do they have salads there too?
I think that they do. 5 Guys.
I like the idea of going there. Let's give that a try.
Pie 5.
Yeah, let's
cool.
do that.
Yeah, we got one in Clarksville. I go to every once in a while.
Is it similar to Mod Pizza?
I've never been there.
Oh, you're missing out.
Oh
my Nelly. Oh, it's a good one. Yep.
Mod Pizza.
Oh yeah. Made on demand.
Yep. So you basically you go down, you get in the line, and you pick what kind of crust you want. If you want kind of like flat or pan or whatever, and then you go down and the sauce and the cheese and. Ugh,
all right. Well, we'll
good.
see you, everybody. We're just gonna leave the stream on. We're going to lunch. Oh, big 4. I was really hoping for a string to get going here. You seen her dancing.
Go to Toots, get the chicken finger plate with the finger in Cajun. Thank me later.
Ooh, thank you, Happy Gilmore 06 in the chat. Appreciate that.
Toots is good. They have every once in a while we'll do a ball test here at Smyrna Lanes, and Toots is restaurant of choice for lunch.
Is that the home of the Boot Tootin' Boogie?
Boot Scootin' Boogie.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. You had me confused there for a second.
Here we go, do-si-do. Come on, baby, let's go. Boot Tootin'. That's where we're going. We're going to the pizza place. And I think we're going to bring Michigan State with us.
I think Carl Nikolai would enjoy doing the boot scoot and
we might scoot. Well, we might even have room for vacant. We might be able to fit them in the car.
You know what?
Too.
I don't want to associate myself with these over-surfacing people.
Yeah, but I graduated from there. They're my alma mater, and I think that we should bring vacant with us.
Okay, they can come, but they have to bring their Abralon. They have to leave their Abralon pads here. There's no room for those 360 grit abusing individuals.
Back when I bowled college, they used screen.
Screen and what was that? Scotch Brite, wasn't it? Scotch Brite back in the day a little bit too.
Yeah.
What kind of a? I mean, that guy was a genius. He was like, I'm going to number these and sell them for like $8 a piece, and then they're gonna wear out after like 4 times. And that guy's making probably bank.
You know what? I think I'm going to start selling screen on Inside Bowling.
You should sell screen and Abralon pads.
A screen? I only want to sell screen. I don't think you need Abralon. I think all you need is screen. Screen and polish.
Screen and polish.
Oh, there's the pickup. There it is. I didn't know if, let's watch that again. I got the replay right here. The old 2-4-10.
There's a couple of good split conversions on that lane
Wait
today.
for
He
it.
knew it.
Wait for it. There
he had
we
his hand
go.
up as the ball was hitting the pins.
He knew it off his hand.
It's always a good feeling. I think Michigan State this game. I think they're being distracted by some of Vacan's shenanigans.
I think I need to recruit a color commentator in the Dallas area for next or 2 weeks stream that I have.
Dino Castillo.
I could use Dino. You think he knows much about college?
I don't. Yeah, I would go out on a limb and say that he probably isn't too updated with the current college, but knowing Dino, I'm sure he could wing it.
Yeah, I need someone that I don't have to educate during the live stream. I was actually going to reach out to our friends at the USBC and see if one of those guys would be available.
What about Stephanie Johnson?
Yeah, she might be available too. That's a good call. That's a good call there. I'd have her there for sure if McKendry was part of that.
Little Shafani action.
I'm sure she'd love that, yeah. That will be our next live stream on Inside Bowling is in 2 weeks, Southland Bowling League. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Be there, there. Just like this weekend.
Michigan State trying to finish this this setup here. .186 off the sheet. When we come back from lunch, on the ladies' side, we will have joining us Bethel. Weren't they just here? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong lanes. We will have Emmanuel and St. Francis. St. Francis is the tournament leader right now. So we will have a good look at the tournament leaders on the live stream pair when we return from lunch. On the men's side, after lunch, we will have the Bethel men and the Savannah College of Art and Design men. We learned yesterday there's a pretty talented young man. What was his name? Alex Glitch?
Yeah,
Alex G. We'll call him Alex G. can't remember his last name. To my understanding, he's a front runner or somewhere towards the front for Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year race.
Alex Glinsky.
Glinsky. I was right before I saw it. I remembered it was Glinsky. But yeah, Alex Glinsky. We got a glimpse of him yesterday on the individual live, this individual sectional live stream. He throws it really well, so that'll be fun to watch.
We can definitely get you guys hooked up with some vacant bowling shirts, no problem. So 171 for Michigan State, and that's going to be our final game of our first 16 games of the ITC Sectionals. Smyrna, Tennessee is where we are. Mike and Matt bringing you the action here, and it's time now for lunch break for the players and for us. We'll be back at 1:45 Central Time here today from the Smyrna Bowling Center. Once again, I want to thank BowlTV and the United States Bowling Congress for allowing us to stream sectionals on Inside Bowling in collaboration with BowlTV. Don't forget, there are 3 other sectionals streaming at the exact same time and also will be archived on BowlTV. If you love college bowling, we have 4 different sectionals for you for the first time ever here this weekend. I want to give a shout out to our comrades out in the field, Aaron Smith, Craig Elliott, and Emil Williams Jr. out working hard as well today. So with that, that's going to do it for these 16 games. We'll be back at 1:45, as we said, right back here on Inside Bowling in collaboration with BowlTV. We'll see you at 1:45, everybody.